Hello, fellow star stuff. Hello, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I didn't just check my phone for that. I hope you all have been doing well. Let me go over to game screen. We are back with some more Ever 17, the Out of Infinity. I apologize for being late. I don't know what my computer did right before stream, but I certainly did not like that. I don't know. Sometimes my computer gives problems and it's just like, I don't need any issues right now. I don't need any issues with it right now. So, hello, Albert. Welcome on in. Yes, we are back with some more Ever 17. Let me go ahead and load. I don't know, whatever I have up here. Takeshi's Waiter Stock. Okay. All right, that's fair enough. We can start from right here. All right, yes. So I hope you've been doing well. I guess first and foremost, like I said, so April is kind of a busy month for me. I kind of fortunately have it planned out now, but it's going to be kind of busy, and so that kind of affects streams. This first week here, these first 2 weeks here, honestly, I'm doing work stuff, and then the middle of the month I'm moving, and then the end of the month I'm also doing work stuff, which means that I'm not going to be like consistent until the 27th really, which is really fun. really fun, but I will still try my best, still try and keep up with streams a little bit, so it's not anything that's it's not gonna be like I'm taking a break from streaming for a whole entire month. See you in May or anything like that. But it is very much just gonna be kind of inconsistent. The VODs will still be up, so at least on YouTube, they'll still be up always. So feel free to check out the VODs if you miss anything. It's not that you know, if some people can't make it live, I completely understand, especially because I'm not giving any warning beforehand. So, but yes, well, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Off stream, I found out I have a paid Friday off this week, but I didn't plan anything for that weekend. Oh, nice, nice, congrats. I hope it's well, I know what that feels like. It's like, I know what it's like to have like downtime, and it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my time. But I hope you do something restful at the very least. I hope it's good. Yes, I had family visit this weekend at the very last minute. So I had a stream planned that didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But I did have, basically, like one of my cousins is like a child, right? Like she's 2 years old essentially, or whatever. So I don't want her screaming in the background of like streams. But I did have some free time, and I was like, what should I do with this free time? And then it occurred to me, I was like, you know what was one thing I wanted to try and do? I wanted to try and boot up the Steam version, the Steam version of Ever 17. So like we just finished the Sada route, and now we're on the Tsugumi route, right? And I was like, what if off stream I played through the Steam version and I played through the Sada route that we literally just completed? What happens then? What happens if I do that? And I was like, I don't know. I'll see what happens. It's like, let me just boot it up at the very least. Surely it's not going to be that different in the beginning, right? Right? The game on Steam is very, very different, and I wasn't really expecting that. I took like a whole bunch of notes. I don't think I'm gonna go through all of this. It's a lot. There's a lot of changes. I wasn't expecting all of that. It's so strange. I knew it was a remake, but I wasn't expecting it to be like, yeah, remake the entire script, the entire story. Like, don't follow it one to one. I was like, oh, okay, okay, so that's what we're doing. That seems to be the general gist of it. I can talk about things that I did really like about it. I loved the updated backgrounds. I thought they were really, really good, and I liked there was the opening theme. I didn't watch the opening theme because I don't want to be spoiled in anything, but like the updated opening theme is like so late 2000s core. It kind of like, I've never seen the anime, but it reminds me of the Steins Gate anime opening, of just like that sort of like, yeah, we're on a journey, you know, everything's about to go to hell, and it's like, you know, it has like the energy of just like, oh no, what's gonna happen? It was really, really good. I actually really liked it. There was also an updated soundtrack, which I mean, it's the same songs. I slightly prefer the one that is in this game, the one that we're playing on stream, but it's not like it's bad or anything. It's just like a remade version of the whole entire soundtrack. So yeah, there's a reason I haven't gotten the Steam version. Yeah, I know it's not the version that a lot of people seem to enjoy. I can't say anything about it, obviously. I'm barely done with this version of the game. So, you know, but it was very, very interesting kind of going through the very beginning portion of the game. Takeshi, so to me, it feels like and again, this is like my favorite scene in the game, is like the equal parts that you spend with Takashi and then Kid and then switching back and forth and how it all kind of blends together, and it's like who is even talking right now? You know, like there's something very, very cool about that, and I think that's somewhat intentional, although in the Steam version it very much feels like this is Takashi's story guest starring Kid featuring Kid, and Kid obviously has all the intrigue and stuff like that, so I mean I guess it's fine, but I did kind of like the equal back and forth between the two protagonists, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. One thing that was very interesting is that Coco's drawing, stick figure drawing, shows up at the very beginning. You know that stone slab that shows up in the very beginning? It's like heaven is in the sky and below your feet or whatever. For whatever reason, Coco has seemingly drawn on that stone slab instead of, you know, whatever she was doing in the Sada route in this version, and it's already immediately there. I was like, oh, okay. All right, I don't know why that was changed. Again, it's not things that I can personally say is bad, because it's like I've never experienced this story before, but it's just a lot a lot of changes, even down to like Takashi starts this version of the game and he's like, hey, I'm looking for my friends, we're on like Golden Week vacation, it's I'm looking for 2 guys and 1 girl, and they changed it they changed it to remove the girl just to say, haha, look at this loser, he's not spending time with the girl. And I was like, why did you change that? That's wild, that's crazy. I I guess just to give him like the one up, haha, look at him, but it's like I don't think it's that important really, but sure. I liked how weird the original is in some places. The lack of detail in the art makes it feel so clinical and claustrophobic. Yeah, I think that's an interesting observation as well. I think that even like story-wise, not just art-wise, but story-wise, there's a lot more minor things that have been filled in. I find that, and a good example of this is that Takashi has one line, which I don't think he has in this version of the game, which is like, why does Coco have a dog? Are dogs allowed in here? Like, I don't remember reading that in the pamphlet, but it seems like there's like many different lines to sort of fill things in, and it kind of slows down the pacing a little bit, which I was surprised about, because I like the pacing of this version of the game a lot. It gives you some time to settle, but it's mostly moves at a fairly quick pace, and I really, really enjoy that. So to see that not be there in the newer version is definitely a more interesting experience. I feel like, as well, the whole vibe of that one is like a little bit more cartoony in the beginning, if I had to say. The Kid Takashi disjointedness in the original was definitely intentional. I was thinking so. I was like, just to give myself something to do, it's like I set the language to Japanese, and it didn't occur to me, because I guess I could have heard this in the voice lines as well. It didn't occur to me that Takashi uses like ore to refer to himself, and then Kid uses boku, and you can immediately tell you're not the same character. Like, you're not the same character if that's the case, which you wouldn't really be able to tell in English. But while that is the case, while I definitely had some confusion about like who is talking right now, I don't even know. While that is the case, I do think that the disjointed feeling of like what's the mystery behind this, I think that's intentional, very much so. And you don't get as much of a vibe with that, if I'm being completely honest. One thing I noticed as well, and this is the main reason why I stopped playing, just in case it ever becomes relevant, but when Yu is introduced, she gives off very much a vibe of like, she gives off a different vibe. She seems more well put together, honestly, in the Steam version, if I'm being completely honest. But like, there's something about her that makes me think like, oh, are you like going to college for nursing or like medicine or something like that? And I was like, just in case that's like relevant to her character and something that's going to be brought up later, maybe I should not play this version. I know that she did have like seemingly like some sort of first aid training, but I didn't know it was to this extent where she's like running through a list of like, is it this, is it that, like what could this be, what could all these things be? And I was like, okay, well maybe she has some amount of experience under her belt in that area, but again, I don't know if that's actually relevant or not. That was just something that I noticed, and I was like, okay, maybe I won't play through too much of this. But I got up to the point where 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 you would have made the choice between Kid and Takashi, but I saw that you don't actually make any choice at all in the Steam version. You immediately are forced into the Takashi route, which would have been a very different experience for me, right? Given that I just played through all of the Sada route as Kid. Very, very interesting. I don't know. A lot of minor changes, a lot of minor changes. That's like, I can't entirely understand the reasoning behind it, but it's not like it strikes me as bad per se. It's just I prefer this version overall, I think, is kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. But anyway, I'm not gonna touch that version, not until I finish this playing through all of this on stream, I don't think. So there is that. Was there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think so. I think that's the main thing. Yeah. I definitely feel the game is much better when you do the Kid routes first. Interesting, because I know it's recommended to do the Takashi routes first, and it's like at the very least, I like the freedom of being able to choose, right? I like the freedom of it, and not having that experience is very interesting. Choices that are just entirely being cut out entirely. The whole thing with friggin' Tsugumi in the mascot suit. For whatever reason, they cut down a choice that was there as well, because in this version, Takashi starts pestering Tsugumi, but in that other version that's on Steam, they bump into each other, and then Tsugumi just kind of like just one punches him into oblivion, and then when Takashi sees the mascot, who's now Kid at this point, he drop kicks him in response, and I'm like, oh, okay. Very, very different tone. So not sure what to say about that. But yes, that was my experience playing through it. Very, very different. I'd be interested in seeing what were the major changes that made people upset, if there's any major story changes, or if it's just like a different atmosphere. Because I think that's also valid, but still. But Takashi explains way too much. You mean like his roots explain way too much? I guess he has like important characters. Tsugumi is here. Sora is here. Sora is here. So in that sense, it's like, yeah, he kind of gets the best of it. I would say. I definitely agree with that. I can't wait to learn what is Tsugumi's deal, because we haven't learned anything about her up until now. It's just been me freaking out over Coco because but otherwise it's been basically it's been the exact same. So the roots are the explanation roots. I see. So like not entirely, but like an answers arc, so to speak. I gotcha. All right. But with that being said, I think now is a good time to probably continue the game. If I feel like I'm forgetting something, if I remember it, I will bring it up. But otherwise, I think now is a good time to get into it. There were 17 minutes until the time Sora had said. I wondered where I should hit next. These options weren't here before. What the heck? These weren't here before. Okay, let's go to the visitor room. I continued to the next corner in the corridor and hung a left. I went in the far door, which was open. Huh? Where am I? I had been aiming for the elevator, but I wound up somewhere else. The sign had said, Quale. I had no idea what that meant. Reading the explanation, I learned that it was a gondola in the shape of a jellyfish. I wasn't particularly in the mood for a ride. I checked to see if there was no damage to the floors or the walls and left. The elevator was next to the jellyfish gondola. Oh, hello, we're on your route. Can you please talk to me? No, I don't want to. Okay. Tsugumi was standing there silently and super cool. She was in front of the closed elevator doors with a stern look on her face. So this is where you were. I also not voices are gonna be, the voices of all time today. So I'm certainly trying. It didn't look like Tsugumi had noticed me, but she didn't reply. It looked like she had noticed me, but she didn't reply. Her eyes stayed fixed on the door. This elevator doesn't go to the surface. I was reading a nearby sign. It says that to go to the floating island in Solno, we should use the elevator in the center of the floor. Hey, Tsugumi, standing there isn't going to make the elevator come. I know that. Tsugumi finally answered me. I know because I saw it. I just saw it. Saw what? The elevator. As soon as she said that, she placed her hand on the closed elevator doors and started prying them apart. Do you see Sada in there? Is she in there for any reason? No? Okay. Alright, I guess not. It's like Higurashi and Umineko, how they do it. Okay, I see. So it is very much like an answers arc then. I see. Also, thank you so much for the hydrate. I appreciate it. I will take a sip right now. All right, thank you again. One thing I will say in relation to the backgrounds being updated for that Steam version is that I feel like I had a better sense of space. That was the one thing, the one defining thing that I was like, I really like this. I feel like I have a better sense of like, of Limu and like actually existing within my mind. But they did actually change some of the layout, I feel like, of the amusement park for even the Steam version, which is kind of wild, kind of crazy to me. But still. Does eating ice cream count for hydration? In some way. You know what? I'm not a doctor, so I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say sure, why not? As soon as she said that, she placed her hand on the closed elevator doors and started prying them apart. I don't have ice cream though, I just have my regular tea. The door was stopped half open. I thought it might be broken. Tsugumi looked inside. See, the elevator is stopped on the 3rd floor. Scared, I peeked in. Oh, that's the one we rode down in. It's still there from when we escaped. Also, they don't meet in an elevator, they meet in a hallway in the other version. A little box in the abyss. The elevator was about 20 meters down. I thought that the floors were fairly far apart, but I didn't realize just how far. Whoa. Tsugumi suddenly gave me a little push on my shoulder from behind. Why would you do it? Don't push! What do you think will happen if I fell from here? If you fell, I think you would die, most definitely. Tsugumi said it without a trace of emotion. Jeez, why do you want to try and go and scare me? You're just a coward, afraid of death and dying. Okay, sure, buddy. Tsugumi pulled on the doors, putting them back in their original positions. Just to be sure, I tapped on the elevator button a few times. There was no response. The lamp didn't light up. It doesn't look like it's getting any power. Yes, and the elevator shaft is warped. So even if it was getting power, it probably couldn't move normally. That's right, this elevator is useless. After that, Tsugumi went quiet again. Silence was the rule for a while. Tsugumi rarely talked. She only said the minimum necessary. I thought that maybe she was trying to be careful around me for some reason. I wondered what it could be. I wanted to know. Hey, why don't you tell me what happened? It's got nothing to do with you. That might have been true, but still. It had nothing to do with me. It had something to do with me. Hey, you know something I don't. At the very beginning, and I only see it, again, only because I played through the original just now. I mean, the updated version just now. But I think she did this in the original version as well. When they're together and I guess in the elevator or in the hallway, wherever, she says like, oh, those guys, they actually did it or something like that, right? And so I forgot about that. Yeah, she seems like she knows something in her mind, in her brain. And it's like, we don't get, I didn't follow through on that, but yes, she must have something to do with the reason some of the power went out or something like that. Some reason that we're trapped down here was the implication. Hey, you know something I don't? Something like what? Like about this accident. Like maybe something to do with the reason you're all quiet. Accident. This wasn't an accident. It was planned. What makes you say that? Huh, you're not surprised. Tsugumi gave me a strange look. So you feel something isn't right too? Well, maybe, I guess. Like everything's just too neat. We can't communicate with the outside and our escape routes are all closed. But we got electricity and the air conditioning still works. It's almost like someone trapped us here on purpose. To have a child. It's the only thing that's the zero escaping me talking. To have a child. For somebody and somebody to have a child. Okay. I guess you're not as dumb as you look. Tsugumi's expression loosened into a slight smile. It was a provocative smile. What do you mean by that? I mean exactly what I said. You don't look that smart. What? This chick! I'd love to tell her what I really think of her. But she's really cute, actually. I don't think Takashi gets that impression. I think Takashi is like, yeah, she's freaking weird. Understandably. That thought ran through my mind. But I thought that could really make me look stupid, so I resisted the urge. This is a trap. Tsugumi's expression returned to normal. And you probably aren't going to get out. No, not just you, but everyone else as well. All 4 of them. You're all the same. But I mean, we got out in the other route, so, like, what do you mean? Well, what about you? You then, Tsugumi? Yeah, I suppose I could die in a place like this. It wouldn't be bad at all, I guess. Tsugumi looked upward. The ceiling was covered with artificial materials. It felt oppressive. She laughed again. Then she was left disappearing down the corridor and I was alone. Jellyfish gondola quail situation normal. Is it elevator out of order? Alright, the warehouse. There was a room with no sign indicating what it was for. There was a room with no sign. Oh, yes. It caught my curiosity and I decided to have a look. It appeared to be a warehouse of some kind. There were loads of boxes made of reinforced plastic all piled up. There was a pushcart, boxes too big to carry, and a few long, narrow ones a person could manage to hold. There were all kinds of marks, symbols, and letters on the boxes. I couldn't make sense of them. There were a bunch of round carbon capsules and drum-like objects. I wonder what was inside of them. I figured I didn't really need to know. There was a hissing sound coming from somewhere. Looking for the sound led me to an air conditioner that was in bad shape but still working. On the room's ceiling was a crane complete with a guiding rail. Yeah. One container was still suspended from above. It looked like it had been abandoned in the middle of work. No one had any time to clean up. Everyone had fled at once. Hey, isn't anybody here? I called out once, but nobody answered. There's no reason anyone would be here. I thought Sada was no, Sada's not real. Oh no. I was like, Sada is supposed to be in this room, right? Yeah. Okay. There's no reason anyone would be here. Tee-hee, haha, there was no reply. Warehouse situation, normal. The infirmary. Kranken Station. I arrived in front of the infirmary. While the place was a theme park, it was also deep in the ocean and had other facilities. Limu's atmosphere was maintained using a mix of gases at an atmosphere pressure different from the outside world. It seemed like it could make some people feel ill. I reckon that was the reason the room was so large. Beyond the huge sliding door was a room decked out elaborately in shiny new medical equipment. I thought it would have been something to do with Limu's sponsor being a major pharmaceutical company. The room was so clean and white that it was nearly blinding. It was like 2 normal beds and one that looked like it was used for surgery. There was also a huge machine attached to one of them. LMRI was written on it. I didn't know what it was, but it looked like some kind of scanner. I took a shelf on the wall filled with medical tools and medicine. It was probably in case someone fell ill or got injured. It wouldn't be possible to move anyone outside, so they would be treated on site. Oh my gosh. She's here. All right, let's see how the Coco voice does in, times of dire voice work.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way out.
I was getting used to surprises, but the voice startled me. I didn't know who was talking, but somebody sure was.
Everybody. Help. Did you come to help?
Is this not Coco? It sounds like they sound so similar that it's like I don't even know. It sounds like Coco to me. It sounded like Coco, yeah. But I didn't know who she was talking to. Also, for no reason, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's just change Coco to K-O. I couldn't tell where they were.
But that's probably impossible. There's No way out anymore.
What was she saying? I wondered if something had happened to Coco. Carefully, I crept toward the rear of the room. I noticed a squarish hole cut on the floor. I peered down inside. Down below, a small lift was stopped there. It appeared there was another room directly below the infirmary. The voice was coming from there. I pushed the button calling the lift and hopped in. It ascended slowly and silently. I arrived below. I noticed that the hatch was slightly ajar.
Liar. Because.
I eased closer and opened the hatch. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Why are you doing this? What? Okay. Also, hello, Black Blue. I hope you've been doing well. Thank you so much for the 25 stream streak. Holy shoot. Holy shit. I can't believe it. We back in the building? Yes, we are. We are back in the building of all time. Yes, I hope you've been doing well. We're here with Coco, the ghost, who is talking to herself, maybe. Or maybe Sada? I don't know who she's talking to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know her anymore. I don't get it. Let me go ahead and remove this so we have it here. But also, yes, I hope you've been doing well. Welcome on in. Who are you talking to, you little weirdo? Coco jumped as if she had been stung. She was sitting on the bed. Nothing looked out of the ordinary.
Oh, Takepyeong?
Takepyeong? Why? Why you gotta do this to me? Takepyeong.
Yep, you're Takepyeong.
Huh?
Pyong Takepyeong.
Who did this? Who did this? Did somebody say this? Maybe somebody. Yeah, I mean, it's not that uncommon per se. It's like as an anime thing, but also like, did somebody say this in Never 7? I'm having a timeline warp sort of situation in my brain. I don't know. Save place, Pokepon. Oh no, it was you. I think it was you. You said like you added Pokepon to the end of your words. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
I know the Ninneko song 17. But it's not Pyong Pyong, it's Pokepon, right?
Yes. But...
Huh?
Coco.
Coco pointed to herself as she said her name.
Takepyeong.
Then she pointed at me.
And Pipi is 3 years old.
Very cool, Coco. You want to tell me why Sada isn't around right now instead of whatever this is? That's what I'm more curious about. Woof. A puppy face peeked out under the bed. Also, in the Steam version, they like, it was very much Persona 3, just like take stock dog sound effects, like who cares, and just put them for the dog. Whereas this version, I'm pretty sure a human is voicing, and they added a sound effect that's like, this is a large dog that's like growling and stuff, and it's like, why did you choose this one? You couldn't choose any other one, but whatever, it's fine.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too. But haven't we already introduced ourselves? I returned upstairs with Coco. So you're calling me Takepyeong. Is that it?
Yep.
Woof. Alright, I got it. So, who were you talking with, Coco?
What?
Wasn't someone just in that room?
No, nobody was there. I was just playing around with Pee-Pee.
You said like a freaking liar. You said like a liar.
Pyong Takepyeong.
Whatever. I didn't think Coco would lie to me. But you don't know. There wasn't anyone else around. Infirmary, situation normal. Now, I took my PDA from my pocket and checked the time. Oh no. We were only 2 minutes late, but still we were late. I jogged toward the security office. Coco and Pee-Pee were close behind. I went through the sliding door. Kuranari, you're late! Also, Kid is barely keeping it together in this timeline. I feel so bad for him. He deserves so much better than whatever is going on with him. Kuranari, you're late! Yu was standing like a guard in the narrow entranceway. The Kid was next to her. Yeah, I just got here a little before you. Sorry, my bad, I was late. You know that in a group, in our situation, we have to be punctual, right? Don't get so mad, it's only 2 minutes, give or take. But 2 minutes can make all the difference in the world.
I was late too.
Oh, Coco, you didn't get lost or have any problems, you're alright?
Yep, I'm fine. I came straight here.
Oh, that's good. You're sure treating her a lot different than me. Well, everyone made it in one piece, so that should be sufficient. Sora looked up from the Lemeth terminal and smiled. She walked toward us. So everybody's here. What about Tsugumi? I'm here. Tsugumi was leaning against the lockers on the far side of the room. If you found anything new, I'd like to hear about it. Did you? I feel like you're a lot more cooperative in this route as well. I don't know, just like a little bit of a difference there. Granted, she wasn't completely cold in the other route, but you know, it's still a little bit different. Yes, I will tell you. First, there are a few things I want to review. Sora gave us a lecture about the structure of Limu. Limu has 3 layers, the ocean. This seems like it's gonna be the same. Can I skip this? Skip until next choice? Satisfied with the explanation. Unsatisfied with the explanation. I'm satisfied. I don't... I don't know. I feel like it's fine. Swimming a 15-story building? That was insanity. Even from Zweider's stock, at a depth of 34 meters, that would be about 10 stories. Just climbing that would be challenging. Besides, how would one get outside of Limu in the first place? Yeah, you're right. That's something that just guts alone couldn't get you through. I nodded. And the ocean is pitch black. It would be suicide. That is correct. There is something else I want to say. It is an announcement. Is this like all cables radio malfunctioning? I think this is gonna be like, hey, we're gonna die in 7 days if we don't get out of here. Can't provide an estimation of what we had in touch. Sonic communication. Can I skip? Skip until next choice? I can't. Okay. Therefore, I have not been able to dispatch an SOS. That concludes my report. Oh, that's it. That's the only thing. Okay. 2 hours had passed. And there was no sign of help. If there were people up on the floating island, the least they could do was send someone to check on us. I was trying to be upbeat about things, but with the first floor flooded and the partitions shut, no one was going to be coming through here. And coming through the ocean, that seemed even more impossible. Yet we've seen someone do it. Yeah, actually, we've seen someone do it, so, you know, I mean, my thing is Kid human, honestly, at this point? I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. There's no way that Sora would have taken out the shard in his hand and not commented on that otherwise. But also, how did he do it? Just pure willpower, I guess. The flooding of Limu had disrupted the flow of the currents around it. It would be hard for a diver or small submersible to get anywhere near it. 9:18 p.m. We left behind the security office that reeked of smoke and gathered in front of the souvenir stand.
Ready? Go! Yeah, that's another win for Pee-Pee.
I just finished my 34th match against Pee-Pee, and I had lost 34 times. You and Kid, man, what's going on? It's a pretty one-sided affair. Is there any way that Pee-Pee could lose?
Oh, are you making excuses?
First off, you're the one who's been making Pee-Pee's face all funny. I can't make the faces that crazy by myself. Oh. Hold on. Move that there. Okay. He was experimented on, right? Maybe he has heightened physiology. I guess that's true. As he sees it, is like, I only have supervision, right? And it's like, there's nothing else that's been changed about me. But apparently, they also made Sada super smart, or at least that was the implication he was doing. Apparently, I don't know. Kid doesn't really know a whole lot about what was done during those experiments. So I guess it could work. It could work, definitely.
Well, there's no other way to do it. Pee-Pee can't make faces alone. Woof.
Besides, I don't really know how to make a dog laugh, so it's not really fair.
Well, it's just something you have to get used to.
I wonder if it was really about getting used to it.
Pee-Pee laughs when he's happy, right, Pee-Pee? Woof, woof.
Well, I'll just have to admit defeat. Kid, you want to take my place? Me? Yeah, I'm begging you. I'll be the referee. The kid had been talking with you, but he came over.
All right, game time.
Please don't go too hard on me. Oh, what fun. What game are you playing? It looks fun. Sora, who had appeared to take interest with the game, also came over. It's a staring contest. Canine versus human. Wow, that seems pretty incredible. Sora covered her mouth with her hand and giggled. Actually, PP is incredible. I think I'm gonna have nightmares about this. I don't know if I could... I've tried staring contests with my dog. I think most of the time I win, but sometimes she wins. Sometimes she's like, no, I'm not looking away. I'm not backing down here. I was like, okay, all right. I have to blink. I have to look away. I have to go do stuff. So she ends up winning. But for the most part, I think I have a better win record. She's just like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. But still, I shuddered. And now, in their first contest, we have the champion PP against the challenger, the kid, facing off in the face fight. I want to get underway, but first...
Let's hurry up and do this!
I think we need to decide what we're going to call the kid here. Is kid okay? What do you think? Well, I don't know.
You could call him Kiddo.
Nah. Sure.
Kiddo!
No, we're not doing that, right? Right? Kiddo, huh? You want me to call you that too? There's gonna be a more normal name than that. John. It'd be fitting to call him John Doe. We're having the same conversation again. But wouldn't it be... but wouldn't be calling him that just be... because it's fitting, just be rude to all people named John Doe is an insane statement. Insane. What are you talking about, Sora? Shut up. Well, it'd be fitting for a little while, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Kuronari-san, I thought you wanted more of a name-like name than Kiddo.
Well then, Coco will think of another name. Kiddo's other name could be... Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Hora Juan Novecino Maria de los Remedios
Hey, why do characters do this? Civitario Cretario de la Santa Shima Trinidado Luis Picasso. That's too long. Anything longer than Tanaka Yubisei Haruka Kana is out. Hey, Kuronari, shut up! Don't talk about my name. Don't go blurring out my full name. You, who had been standing over by the shop, came walking directly toward me. No, what a pain. In honor of the mascot, I say we call you John Raccoon Dogsmith. I think so too, to be honest. I've also had staring contests with my dog, and he's a champ. Aw. I hope he continues to be the champ forever. Does he have a name? Doggo, well, Doggo is obviously called Doggo for the streams, but it's very... She's very, very, very... I think she doesn't... Like, she likes to watch me, but more so in a way of just like, what are you doing? Why can't you just be normal? Why can't you just be... You know, be normal like everyone else. Sometimes I like to do little dances, you know? Sometimes I just like to do little dances because she's like staring and it's just like, I don't understand you. But she's so valid for that. I don't know. It's just the joys of everyday life and having a dog. That's crude, Kuronari-san. Is it? I think John Raccoon Dog Joe whatever Doe is fine. Woof. Well, let's see. Why don't I think of one? How about Melos-san? Why Melos? Like short for memory loss? Like short for what was it? Memory? No memory? The other game. Nah, I mean, bad luck's calling that. Didn't mean to make it so direct. What are you all bickering about? Tsugumi cut in. If you come up with some random name, it'll be a hassle if he remembers his real one. He is a kid, so why don't we just stick with kid? Interesting, you're way more cooperative in this version of the game. His name's Man Man. My mom named him. I haven't seen him in a while since I moved out of the family house. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Aw. Man Man. Man Man is a wonderful name. Wonderful name. But I hope he's doing well. So, why don't we just stick with Kid? The conversation had come full circle. Tsugumi is the only one who can call us out on our bullshit, apparently. The light suddenly went out and flashed back on. There was a dull, heavy, metallic echo. At the same time, there was a slight terror. What's that? That tremor felt like it came from below. Below? I wonder if something happened below. I will try to investigate. Saying that, Sora held out her hands in front of her. No. I mean, again, very, very obvious that she's not real. She's not real. Just then, a strong lateral vibration jolted the floor. I want to say as well, last time I was saying like, oh, Takashi is stupid. And to be fair, I still stand by this statement, but like, it's not it's not to say that Takashi is immediately supposed to go to the conclusion of like, oh yes, she's an AI, of course. I don't think that unlike what I was saying before, I don't think Sora has actually disclosed that to anybody, I think, except obviously you, because she would know. So in that sense, I think that I don't think it's like impossible that he wouldn't come up to the correct conclusion, but I do think it's wild that he's just like, oh, so she's not human. I mean, we live in a world of where anything's possible, so yeah, obviously. Just then, a strong lateral vibration jolted the floor. The holographic window that Sora had conjured had vanished. Wait, she had conjured it! Takashi, anything to say about that? No? Okay, whatever. Sora! It's alright, the monitor is back online. I'm initiating a scan. Water has penetrated the material storage space in Sector 6 of Jitterstock. It's flooding? I didn't see any signs of that when I made the rounds. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of metal giving way accompanied the massive shaking. Scenes from old movies of luxury liners being swallowed by the ocean flashed across my mind. I guess we can't say Titanic. I guess we can't say that yet, but we can say the gigantic or whatever else. Whatever. There is damage to the passageways connecting the sectors. Multiple leak areas, and it's increasing. Hey, don't you think we should grab hold of something? Yes, everyone grab something and steady yourself. Okay. I reached out for a support pillar nearby. Coco crouched down as she squeezed Pee-Pee tightly. Everyone held their breath. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Bam! A huge shockwave rocked us. But it's odd he doesn't find anything strange. Yeah, exactly. It's very much like, are you like present? Are you really here? Or he's just like, yeah, I don't know. I guess all tech people are like that. You know? I guess he's not really thinking about it. The whole floor, rather the whole of Limu shook. I thought I would be thrown into the ceiling 1 second or pulverized into the floor the next. The souvenir shop in front of me trembled. The display of dishes in the shop fell to the floor and shattered. A pile of empty cans clattered and gave way. A stuffed animal made a beeping noise as it fell on its stomach. We all steadied ourselves against the shaking. All we could do was endure it. No one said anything. We could hear the squeal of steel twisting. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Finally, the sound seemed to get farther away. The vibrations also gradually subsided. 9:35 p.m. Sora announced that the second wave of flooding had finished. Still wary, we headed downstairs. We carefully moved forward down the wet and slippery stairs. With every step, the scent of seawater seemed to grow stronger. We arrived at Jitterstock, the third floor, blah blah blah. The water level in the corridor reached around my shin. It must have been around 15 centimeters deep. Limu can't pump out all this water? It appears not. All major areas where leaking has occurred have been closed off by shutting a partition. However, the water is continuing to flow in through the small ducts even now. The water clearing pumps are operating at full capacity, but the water level make the water level recede. Why the big hole would have to be plugged? Is that what you're gonna say? But with the partition shutting off the sectors of the original leak, there's no access to it. Yes, that is so. We entered the central control room. Sora checked the damage via the Limu's console, but she didn't go offline this time. She's still online. But I must sincerely apologize. Even though the second flooding was about to occur, I failed to notice and warn you all. As she manipulated the keys, Sora bowed her head, looking deeply apologetic. Everybody makes mistakes. It's not your fault, Sora. I don't have the guide up, do I? Hold on. I forgot to pull up the guide, which is here. And where am I? I don't know. Maybe... Actually, I genuinely don't even know where I am right now. I see something here that says satisfied and unsatisfied. And like, I think that's where we're at right now. Yeah, definitely. This has to be it. Maybe this choice also doesn't matter. That's also entirely possible. Everybody makes mistakes. It's not your fault, Sora. I mean, these are the exact same thing, aren't they? They're the exact same thing. Let me go ahead and save just in case. And let's be like, everyone makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Did we also do this before? We might have, actually. Skip until next choice? Nope, never mind. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. This facility does seem to be poorly designed. They cordon off sections of the facility to prevent flooding, but that doesn't actually prevent the flooding. It makes it impossible to repair the damage. If you're gonna have it cordoned off sections like that, you need to actually have them compartmentalized. I wouldn't say, yeah. No, that was something that was like, I was wondering as well. It's like, this place does not seem like it's well designed. They're just like, throw a theme park together, I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't feel like they have everyone's safety in mind, right? It's like, we have safety protocols in place, you know? We have them in place. They are sure there, I guess. But I don't know if it actually works that well. I wouldn't say they're the same. One is saying that she's to blame, but you are forgiving her. The other is saying that she's not to blame at all. I guess the nuance is a little interesting. Everybody makes mistakes. It's not your fault, Sora. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're not on the Sora route anyway, which is what's most important. As long as we're continuing to be on the Tsugumi route, but also both of these are like nice things to say to somebody. I think it's just that Sora takes things very, very seriously, so like maybe this one would be better for her in this specific case, I would say. I would agree with that. The big issue is that the air compressor isn't working. The building falls apart if it doesn't have the air compressor to equalize the air. That's true. And again, it's like, what happens if the air compressor fails? It's like, well, I mean, we'll figure it out, I guess. And they didn't figure it out. So we're still here. We're still trapped down here, and everything is bad. We may have overlooked the cause of this when we were checking around a little bit ago. We're in this together, said me, Takashi. I've always been talking and not you. Everyone is fine, so let's just consider ourselves lucky. I am really sorry. Sora answered without looking away from the monitor. Thank you for being so kind, Kuranari-san. Yeah, it's nothing. I scratched the tip of my nose. Finally, her hand stopped typing on the keyboard. Sora turned and stood up. I have gauged our situation. I will now display it. This I feel like we've seen before, but can I skip it? No. No. Everyone, please do not be shocked or let this get you down. I mean, the good news at least is that we only have to go through this once as Takeshi before, you know, we can branch off from there, because Takeshi has a few different routes, same as Kid. Everyone, please do not be shocked or let this get you down. Sora, when you say stuff like that, it makes us nervous. No, I'm sorry. Still doesn't solve the flooding problem. Everything leaks if the air compressor isn't running. Leaks can't happen if there's holes. If it's working. I see. Right. Right. I'm still fairly confident. I'm fairly confident that there are a few things that will shock me. I see. In that case, I thought everyone was probably numbed by what we had experienced so far. Simply put, the cause of the second influx of water we experienced a short while ago, the sectors that were able to avoid damage during the first flooding were isolated from the flooded sections and forced ventilation created a sudden reduction in air pressure. However, the inundated sectors were not able to withstand the weight of water and tilted, causing a rupture of the joint in the adjacent sector. See, like, these are things, like when I said it to Japanese, when Sora's giving her explanation in the very beginning, I'm like, yeah, whatever you say, Sora, whatever you say. I barely understand you in English, to be honest, so like, whatever you say. The gap in the internal and external air pressure caused seawater to be sucked into the complex through the rupture. I mean, I get it. I understand it. It's not like I'm completely lost, but you know, I feel like I could have a better understanding of it if it's something that if if underwater, you know, was something that was my specialty, but it isn't. So, many of the sectors that were stable until that moment were instantly flooded. That is the current situation of Dritter's stock. This blinking area is the central control room, and this is the status of Zweider's stock. You serious? You mean nearly half of Limu is underwater? There are 3 sectors in Dritter that are not flooded. The area displayed in the center of this map is Sector 8, where we are at. Uh-huh. But it looked like the map displaying is roughly 2 areas, so where's the third sector? Actually, due to a flaw in the system, a detailed map cannot be displayed. One part of Sector 4 diagonally above Sector 8 is stable. Diagonally above. Oh, okay. There's no way to get there. Correct, it is impossible. Why? Because all of the corridors connecting to the sectors are submerged. In terms of distance, it is roughly 100 meters. I don't think there's anyone among you that is capable of swinging 100 meters without breathing. You know, ask Kid in like a few days, because, I don't know, he might be able to do it. Who's to say, really? Therefore, I say it is impossible. Furthermore, even if someone did reach Sector 4, I don't think it would improve our situation at all. Sector 4 is in the same predicament as here. All of the emergency stairs to get to the floating island are completely flooded. So even going there would be a waste. That is correct. Oh, there's nothing we can do. So we should forget about Sector 4. We'll just have to sit quietly and wait for help to come. 9:48 p.m. Well, I guess we could take it easy for now. Again, you could tell that scene is a repeating scene because Coco doesn't speak. I'm guessing Sara didn't speak as well. I thought that she had, but nope, it's optional dialogue. They couldn't add in optional dialogue, rather, so it's like they don't speak. They don't contribute to the conversation. I left the room and hit the food stand, snacking some cola for everyone. All right, cola time. I'm gonna toss everybody one. Ready? Oops, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm short one. No, I don't need one. Oh, you don't have to worry. I'll go get one more. You can have mine. No, really, I'm fine. I'm not thirsty and I don't really feel like cola. Sora smiled. Well, in that case, I tossed the cola to everyone in order. Oh, interesting. He doesn't... I can't remember if this is the same day. I don't think so, but he seemingly does not throw it here. Okay. You, Tsugumi, and the kid all took one. But then the kid started shaking his can. Stupid, what do you think you're doing? Wait, I don't know why I added an accent to that. Huh? If you do that, it's gonna explode everywhere. Really? Is it dangerous? Did you forget that the cola is carbonated? I'm sorry. Jeez, I'll give you mine, here. I switched cans with him. That time, the kid slowly lifted the tab without shaking the can. Pshaw. The cola erupted powerfully. The rest hardly jumped to get out of the way. The kid got a blast of cola in the face. Well, hey, are you alright? Just so you know, that wasn't my doing. It was absolutely your doing, actually. This cola, it's sweet. Oh, guys, you should be more careful. You said that as if she was at her wit's end. These cans contain special gas so that they can be used at 6 atmospheres. Weren't you listening to when they were bringing in and taking home... when they said that bringing in and taking home the canned beverages were strictly prohibited? Nope. Nope, because we had a very brief introduction for this version of the game, so no. Oh, I didn't know that. I must have missed it. That's not your voice. I didn't know that. It was true. Normally, the inside of the Limu complex was maintained at 6 atmospheres using a mixture of gases. Since the floor's pressure had lowered to 1 atmosphere and the gas in the cans is still highly pressurized, the gap in pressure with the surrounding atmosphere made them burst when open. So you have to be careful. I didn't know that. The kid wiped his face with a nearby towel. Hey kid, no one would expect you to know that. You've got to tell the amnesiac these things ahead of time. All right. I didn't notice until after the fact. That's an odd thing to forget. Also, why didn't you say something sooner? She didn't think that it was relevant, I guess. She didn't want to say anything. So, I mean, I guess she's assuming that somehow we got down here and like we would remember some certain things, but like you have to know that like kid is a complete amnesia. He's not even retaining memories somehow, some way. Coco, why are you dotting? Why are you doing that? Huh? Coco, what's wrong? Coco was embracing Pee-Pee and looked downcast. Thinking about it, I realized that Coco hadn't said anything for a while. It didn't seem like her. Hey, aren't you gonna drink your cola? I held out a can of cola in front of Coco. It's a little warm, but it's the best I can do. Last time she didn't drink anything. But we know that she's real. We know that she's real because, like, Sora, at least Sora and everybody else can see her, right? We know that somehow, some way that she's real. Also, there was another thing that I meant to bring up. I can't remember what it is, but it's because I just replayed the opening. That confirms that, like, yeah, she's absolutely real. She can't be like a figment of... Well, no, it confirms that she's not an AI, like Sora. But I mean, like, she could still be a ghost, is what it was. But I can't remember what it was at this point. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's a little warm, but it's the best I can do.
I don't want it.
Coco mumbled that.
I don't feel very good. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. I've been thinking about it since before. I haven't been able to think of any jokes.
If you don't tell jokes, you fade out of existence? What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, Coco? Jokes? I peered down at Coco. The other one wasn't that funny either, to be honest. She didn't look too good. She was sweating and having a hard time breathing. So every time you can't think of a joke, you fade out of existence and then Sada fades into existence. Hey, you don't look very good. I think you should be a Twitch streamer, Coco. I think you'd be very... you would try. You would try and you would attempt your best effort. Hey, you don't look very good. Kanari, get out of the way! You came rushing over to Coco, pushed me out of the way, and put the hands on her hands on the girl's shoulders. Ba ba ba. There you go. Wait, shouldn't all of the cola explode? I assume that's what happens. Oh, it's time for a break as well. let me go over to Burb screen. All right, it's time for a 3-minute break, and I'm gonna finish my tea while that's happening. I will be right back in a few minutes. See you then. Alrighty, I am back. Let me go over here and then back to game screen. And then we can go here for a moment. So if all of the colas exploded, was you expecting to drink the exploded cola? She took one too. I think so. I think it like exploded slightly, and then I guess like my assumption was that she kind of moved out of the way. She had moved a little bit out of the way, and not all of the cola was done. So she's like, yeah, I'll drink the rest of whatever's inside. But it's never clarified. If so, you know, why didn't kids see her do that? It's like, hey, you're dodging out of the way. That's a very interesting thing. But you know, kid is kind of in his own thoughts and feelings right now. So maybe he just didn't notice. Maybe he just didn't see it. Yes, I remembered the thing that I want to say during the beginning of the stream. So just to bring this up, because I want to be like transparent about where my mindset is at for this game. And this is only if I can find this. I don't know if I can. I can. So there's a photo whenever this game boots up that is shown. And up until, hold on, let me just pull up the photo. It's this one. It's this photo. Up until this point, I've basically just kind of been like in my brain, I have thought to myself that the person, the seemingly blonde person, is maybe like you, or maybe it's Sora, like I don't know, a transformed version of Sora, and it might still be. I'm not saying that I have the answers for who the hell this is, but that's the point. It's like up until now, my brain has just been kind of like, oh, that's like one of the characters, and like I haven't really thought about it. But unfortunately, this is one of those 100-line moments, I guess, where it's like I stared at the promotional art too long, and I was like, so what is this? What is this exactly? We could see Coco, and we could see Tsugumi, and I don't know who this person is. I don't know. My first impression is that it's Sora. Yeah, I don't think I'm meant to read too much into it. Hopefully it's not like a massive spoiler or anything. I don't think I'm meant to read too much into it. I'm not going to. But I felt like I need to bring it up just to be like, hey, just so that you know in the back of my mind, I might be thinking about things. Otherwise, I do think this is Sora. I genuinely think this is Sora. Let me go ahead and remove that. Are you sure you want to remove it? Yes. But anyway, yes. So, continuing. You came rushing over to Coco, pushed me out of the way, put her hands on the girl's shoulders. Coco, do you have a headache? Okay, so this is you finally showing like some sort of medical prowess outside of maybe first aid. I'd say the way that she immediately jumped toward the situation and it's like, hey, like, let's try and assess the situation. That to me reads like, oh, like, are you going to college for nursing or something like that? Which is not a vibe that I had gotten before this point. Coco, do you have a headache?
Yeah, a bit. I feel kind of dizzy.
Does it hurt if you swing your arms around?
Just a little.
But it looked like it hurt more than just a little. I think she has the atmospheric sickness, or at least that's what we're gonna say here. I suspect it might be the decompression sickness due to the sudden loss of pressure on this floor. Yeah, it could well be. PB looked at Coco worriedly. Let's get her to the Zuider infirmary. Kuronari, carry her. Huh? On your back, hurry up and squat down. All right. I want you to carry Coco. I got it, you don't have to scream in my ear. We were rushing up to Zuider's stock, some 17 meters above us. I held Coco on my back, with you and Tsugumi supporting her from the sides. Oh, even Tsugumi's here, look at that. Sora led the way, with Kid brought up the rear. We emerged at the second floor emergency corridor. Hey, are you sure we shouldn't take the normal corridor? Please, proceed straight ahead. This is a shortcut. Oh, I see. This is a shortcut to the infirmary. Okay, so that's what I saw in the Steam version. They took a shortcut to the infirmary. They were using that sort of hallway instead. I was like, why? We have a different way of entering the infirmary, don't we? Gotcha. This is a shortcut. The emergency corridor was directly connected to the lift below the infirmary. Whew, we made it. Let's get her up there. No, Kuranari-san. Please go ahead into that room there. Huh? This is a medical compression chamber. We can treat decompression sickness here. Just let her sleep there. I mean, we should all come in here, right? Okay, got it. Coco lay on the bed. Tsugumi and the kid stood next to me and looked down at Coco. So, what are you gonna do in this tiny room? Isn't it a little cramped for examining her? The space was so small that we could hardly move with everyone in there. She's got the bends. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not going to do anything. What are you talking about? We're going to have Coco relax in this room for a while. Huh? I tilted my head, confused. This is hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I saw hyper and I don't know why my brain immediately went hyperbolic time chamber. Like without question. She's like, no, that's not what it is. Allow me to explain. Decompression sickness occurs when there is a sudden change in the surrounding air pressure and gas bubbles that can't be discharged accrue in the body. Gas becomes air bubbles, and these gather in the tissues or veins. When gas bubbles remain inside the body, the oxygen respiration efficiency drops dramatically. I sure love words being said at me, so no matter how many deep breaths you take, it feels like you're suffocating. That is correct. But also, if any nitrogen which had dissolved in the blood turns to gas, it could produce a thrombus or blood clot. Of course, this could hinder blood circulation, which is very dangerous. So we will seal this room and pump in high concentration of oxygen, slowly taking up the approximately 3 atmospheres. After that, we slowly decompress it back down to 1 atmosphere. Using this difference in pressure, we dissolve the gas bubbles in the body back into the blood, where they can be removed naturally by breathing. So basically, you make us like a can of cola that won't blow up. Yes, precisely. Okay, got it. Very, very cool summary. I lifted my hand. Gosh, that dash up the stairs really wore me out. I heaved a breath. Oh, Kuranari, are you in pain at all? Me? My muscles feel kind of sore, but just a bit sluggish, but... Hey, Kuranari, don't you think you should probably go in the room too? In like cases of decompression sickness, you aren't necessarily aware of it immediately. After you figure out you're in trouble, it's too late? Yeah, and the symptoms can be drawn out. Yes, to be on the safe side, I want you to enter the room. The decompression process took place over several hours. Coco lay on the only bed. The kid, you, Pee-Pee, and I sat next to her. It was cramped. Wait. Really? But Tsugumi went away. Tsugumi didn't stay, even though she came up here with us. Okay. We were like sardines in a can. There was nowhere to move. 11:54 p.m. I wondered what time it was. I took out my PDA and checked. 11:54 p.m. I was sleepy. Coco was sleeping and her breathing was relaxed. It looked like she was doing better. It didn't look like you or the kid were sleeping, but they sat quietly with their eyes closed. Pee-Pee had crawled under the bed. Sora had sealed the hatch from the outside and was adjusting the pressure as necessary. Sora, what about you? Don't you need to be treated? Before the process had started, I'd asked Sora that. No, I'm used to this. Oh, also, everyone, please remove your voice converters during the repressurization process. They are designed to protect your eardrums from the change in air pressure. However, during the pressurization, they can interfere. I removed the earphones that I'd become completely used to and held them in my hand. Sora still stood outside the hatch window. Tsugumi wasn't inside or visible outside the room. Really, she had left just before the pressurization process had started. But why? And where is she going? If I'm to believe that she is human, then I would feel like she would be in here too. I don't know if she's also like a victim of experiments, and so she's like, I'm too cool for this. I literally don't need this, right? Maybe Kid also doesn't need this, but we wouldn't know. Or if it's really just like she's just not human at all to begin with. Huh. It's like I can't tell who's human and who isn't. Gosh darn it. She had left just before the pressurization process had started. There we go. Where did Tsugumi go? When was Sora going to sleep? Okay, well this is obvious, but just in case. And just in case. Where did Tsugumi go? Right here. If you go to here, and then from here, sorry, I think as it is right now, I'm not sure, I'm not certain, but I think Coco's route is actually locked off entirely because like it seems like Coco is doing her own thing on the timeline. So whatever. Where did Tsugumi go? Right, exactly. So let's go ahead and save as always. Where did Tsugumi go? Where the heck did Tsugumi go anyway? Just before the hatch was closed, she had suddenly started talking. I'm leaving. Hey, where are you going? There is a place that I just realized I need to go. Where? Treatment is more urgent than that. I don't need it. Tsugumi, that's irresponsible and selfish. I can't stay cooped up in this cramped place. Well, I won't go escaping alone, so just take it easy. That's not the point. To be blunt, I don't have the patience for you, any of you. Tsugumi ignored you and me and went off somewhere. Did you speak during that conversation at all, or no? Sora had reported to us that she was somewhere on the floor and safe. But it still bothered me a bit. So you know where she is. Where is she specifically? Where is it that she really has to be? Could you tell us? But it was Tsugumi after all. I was sure she'd probably be back in a little while saying something else. That was what I thought. Nearly 2 hours had passed. I'll wait just a little bit longer. Even as I thought that, my eyelids got heavier and heavier. But still, even so, today really was an eventful day. And then I fell away into slumber. Are they still gonna draw on my face? May 2nd, there is this 5:29 a.m. I'm sleepy. The lack of sleep made the echo of her shoes scraping on the ground seem louder than usual. As I walked down the emergency corridor, I stretched. You was next to me. Coco and the kid trailed a little way behind us. And you slept so hard. Yeah, but what time is it right now? 5:30 a.m. That's right. So that means I only slept for 4.5 hours. Not only, you slept that much. I mean, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, you. I don't know how you could sleep like that given our situation. It's because it is this kind of situation that we've got to sleep. Our minds have to be sharp. We have to be ready for anything, right? So your mind is sharp right now? Well, I'm still a little bit sleep deprived, so it's not like all my pistons are firing. But I think I'm doing about as good as the next guy. Hey, aren't you? The next thing I noticed, you was no longer next to me. I stopped and looked back. I saw Kid and Coco vanish into a small side corridor to the right. I hurried after the three of them. And how is Sleeping Beauty? You spoke to me sarcastically once we caught up. I told you, I'm not running at full power. You let out an exasperated sigh and shrugged her shoulders. She also arched an eyebrow as if annoyed. Kuranari. You know, I think it'd be better if you took a look in the mirror. Mirror? Okay, so she still drew on her face. Okay, fine, fair enough. You'd really better wash your face. We entered the emergency stairs from the emergency corridor. We had just roused from sleep by Sora, and the four of us had shuffled to the control room on the 3rd floor, Dritter Stock. We seemed to have passed through the decompression process without a hitch, as no one had any complaints. Even Coco, who had seemed to be having a rough time, was...
Sunny, sunny, sunny. Windy, windy Wednesday. Pretty PPT day. Woof!
Even the dog seemed in high spirits. Does the dog also, I mean, I would assume so, right? The dog should also go through decompressurization, right? Which, to be fair, the dog did. But it's like, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. They looked even happier than the day before. The water on the corridor floor splashed and sprayed as we walked. You, walking next to me, had clammed up. I wonder what she's peeved about. I slowed down my pace to walk with the kid. Hey, you got any idea what you's all miffed about? Who knows? The kid answered, grinning. Hey, what are you laughing about? Do you know something I don't? You sure you don't have any ideas on what it could be? If I did, I wouldn't be asking you. You told me to look in the mirror, but... Huh? Duh? That's no fun. The kid kept glancing at my face and trying not to smile. My face? I wiped the palm of my hand on my face. It looked like black ink was smeared there. What's this? I tried to wipe it off with my shirt collar, but it wouldn't come off. Oh, there's a toilet over there. The faucet was broken and the sink was overflowing with water. I hurriedly splashed my hands and then my face. The mirror in front of me was shattered into many shards that it was useless. But most of the black had come off my hands, so I thought that my face was probably all right. Damn, that girl. I said it disgustedly and hurried out of the bathroom. I went up to you again. Hey you, why'd you write on my face? Huh? Well, I was asleep. You scribbled all over my face, didn't you? Scribble? As she walked, you gaped at my face. What are you talking about? You're probably still asleep. Don't play dumb with me, you. You were just looking around. You were just talking about a mirror. Oh, was I? A mirror. You said it. I know you said it. I'm pretty sure your ears aren't playing tricks on you. Are you sure your ears aren't playing tricks on you? I'm pretty sure you're still half asleep. Then what's this? I showed her my shirt collar that I had wiped the ink. What? You mumbled that, so I stepped closer. Well... Suddenly, she grabbed my hand and stared at my palm intensely. Oh, your palm has an interesting future for you. Palm reading? Is this what you're into now? Your palm tells me that your fate diverges into two distinctly different futures. Kind of true, maybe? It depends on, like, if Kid and I are the same person, which we are, but, like, are we? It depends on how much of the same person that we are, if that makes sense. It's kind of an all-or-nothing outcome. You will either acquire or lose everything. One path will put you on the road to riches, a good job, an encounter with a beautiful woman, and bless you with a strong home and offspring. And you will be as healthy as possible. You will live to the ripe old age and will make those around you jealous, and also create clones of yourself. However, if you take the other path, you will be in dire straits. Dire? Yes, but I can tell you no more. You should take a good look in the middle of your lifeline, because that is where the answer can be found. I looked down at the palm of my hands. My eyes traced a line down my lifeline. Wide-eyed, I scrutinized each wrinkle and line. I'm surprised you know what a lifeline is, to be honest. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know at all, to be quite frank. Hello. I hope everyone is having an amazing and wonderful day. Hello, welcome on in, Kenneth. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm having a day. I'm having the day of all time. It's starting to get a little busy for me, but otherwise, I hope you've been doing well. But I didn't see an answer anywhere. There was still black ink in the creases of my hand. Black ink. Black ink. Black ink? I remember what I was so angry about. Forget fortune telling. You forgot. Okay, Takeshi is not that smart. He's not that smart. You're trying to trick me. Hey, what? The next thing I noticed, you was no longer next to me. I stopped and looked back. I saw the kid and Coco vanish into a small side corridor to the left. Didn't they already do this before? What? Hey, jeez, I don't believe you guys. I hurried after the three of them. 5:36 a.m. Tsugumi was in front of the control room. She leaned against the wall with her arms folded and head down. Talk to her. Wait and see what she does. I mean, correct response is probably to talk to her, if I'm being completely honest. Talk to her. Yes, obviously. All right, let's go ahead. Save as always, as I usually do. Takeshi Echo. Man, seeing Sada's face on the save file, and it's like she's not even here. She's not even real. I guess Coco's there too, but like, I don't have to explain why it's more difficult that like Sada and you know each other. So when it's like, oh hey, Nakyu, like that's casual and whatever, and they've been like that for the longest time. But when suddenly Coco shows up and it's like, hey, can I call you Nakyu? That's really interesting. And like, I mean, there's no reason for her to do so. This isn't like a criticism or anything, but I'm shocked that you doesn't even bring up the fact that like, hey, somebody else actually calls me Nakyu as well. You know, it makes me think that like Sada just isn't even real on this timeline, essentially. Talked to her. I wondered where she could have run off to the day before, but I decided not to ask. I decided to shower her with the cheeriest greeting I could muster. Good morning! How are you feeling? If you haven't been feeling good, you should probably get to the decompression chamber. Tsugumi didn't budge. She stood there with her mouth half open, only blinking her eyes a couple of times. What's the matter? You tired? Low blood pressure? Well, I didn't exactly sleep like a baby either. That damn room was so small I ended up sitting on the floor all night. I yawned and rubbed my eyes with both my hands as I spoke. But then Tsugumi's eyes narrowed into slits, and she leveled a steely glare at me. It was the kind of look that could kill. You are the absolute worst. Why does she hate me? I mean, there's some good reasons to hate Takashi, but like also, why do you like hate me? She's just very tsundere. Huh? Tsugumi shook her head as if fed up with me and vanished inside the control room. The absolute worst? Hey, hold on a second. Kuranari-san. Sora's voice came from behind me. What are you doing there? Please, hurry inside. But... please, just go inside. The expression on her face appeared more stressed than the day before. Right, this is the day when she's going to tell us, like, hey, we need to get out of here or we're going to die. Okay. It seemed as if her face said that something serious was unfolding. Okay, this should be a scene in which I should be able to skip. I think. Yeah, alright, cool. Anyway, we learned that we're about to die. 6:14 a.m. Alright, all done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's all of them. I was in a narrow space of tuna sandwich stand. The narrow space of the tuna sandwich stand where the cooking equipment was. I was wrapping and placing the freshly made breakfast sandwiches onto a tray. Why is it that I have to make breakfast for everybody? Complaining, I took the tray in both hands and opened the small door to the stand. I mean, you like to do it. You like to do this, obviously. That's the way it goes. We decided democratically, you know. Democratically? Okay, that's new information, new lore that we didn't get on the kid's side. It seemed like on the kid's side, honestly, that Takashi had volunteered to make food for everybody. And honestly, that was one of the qualities that I liked about him. But okay, sure. It's just we voted him into it, essentially. I didn't notice before, but is Sada wearing a wedding ring? Sada? It's definitely not Sada. Do you mean somebody else? Or, Tsugumi? One of the characters is wearing a ring, now that you mention it. I have to see. Somebody's wearing a ring. No. Sora. Sora is wearing a wedding ring. Yes, exactly. That was something that I brought up in the very beginning. The very, very beginning of the playthrough is like, why is she wearing a ring? My thought was that she's like actually the wife of the CEO, pharmaceutical company president, something like that. But, you know, now that I know that she's an AI, I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but it's less likely. It's less likely to be the case. I think that's just because of her design and for no other reason. Also, thank you so much for the hydrate. I will do so right now. Alrighty, thank you again, Kenneth, for the hydrate. Yu is waiting in front of the shop and snatched a sandwich from the tray. She peeled back the wrapping and opened her mouth. Democracy is overrated. It just means majority rules. You got it. Yu said it flatly as she munched on her sandwich. It is a reflection of the majority of the people's will. It was true that it had been an overwhelming vote. I'd only been appointed breakfast chief minutes before. I hadn't even run for the office. I know you're the one in the shadows running this conspiracy. Whoa, that's low. I wouldn't go that far. I'm pretty sure it's just because everyone sincerely thought you would be the best cook. On what? Based on what? Actually, based on what? You're sure full of it.
Thanks for the sandwich.
You already ate it? That's so fast.
Yummy, I'll have another.
Duh. I slapped away Yu's outstretched hand. I've only made for one person made one for each person. If you want another one, you make it.
Hey, come on. Oh, great, Takashi. Make one more, pretty please.
First, I wanted to get away from you. I took the remaining 4 sandwiches over to the rest area to hand them out. Breakfast is ready. Come and get it. Like areas like I mean, all of the areas again look very different in the Steam version, but like this area especially looks so incredibly different in the Steam version. I was honestly shocked that it was even the same place, to be honest. But the Steam version has more of a high-tech vibe to it. It's not that this one isn't high-tech, it's just it feels more like you can tell, and I don't know when the remake was made, but you can tell that the remake was made like in 2009 or later or whatever else. You can tell that it has the knowledge of being, you know, being in an era where it's like we can picture technological advancement a little bit more. So like sci-fi stuff looks like this, so to speak. But it's not to say that I hate these backgrounds or anything. I think they're actually really nice. Breakfast is ready. Come and get it. As I called out, I set the tray on the bench.
Yay, yay! Food, glorious food!
Coco came running and splashing toward me. Bibi the dog paddled along beside her. Oh, the dog has to swim? Oh, this looks good. All of a sudden, I noticed the kid beside me. It's so weird to call him the kid. The kid, not just kid. Hey, where are Tsugumi and Sora? Sora went back to the control room. She said there was still stuff she had to look into. Nah, that again.
I think Tsugumi took off somewhere.
Same old, same old. I turned my eyes to the 3 tuna sandwiches left on the tray. Actually, because Sora is not real, and again, I feel like we can just say Sora is not real, by the way. But because that is the case, you can actually take one extra one if she wants. It doesn't really matter. What to do? Make a choice, certainly. Look for Tsugumi. Go see Sora in the control room. It really... I don't feel like it was this clear-cut with in Kids Route. There were obviously choices that would lead to one or the other, but in this route, it's very much like you only have a choice between Tsugumi and Sora. Or maybe I'm just realizing it now that I'm better acquainted with the characters, you know? Who's to say, really? So they redrew all of the artwork. They redrew all of the backgrounds, and I guess they would have redrawn all of the character portraits as well. But they look the exact same, generally. The backgrounds look really, really different, though. Even people in the background, the backgrounds of the backgrounds look different. Look for Tsugumi, let's go. First, I decided to go look for Tsugumi. I would go see Sora after that. I took their sandwiches in hand and left the room. Hey, Tsugumi! I called out as I walked corridors at random. Chow time! I knew that she wasn't the type to answer that. Oh, so you didn't say it. Sorry, that was a voice in his head. Finally, the Himmel door! I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's real. Oh. At the end of the corridor, I spied Tsugumi, and she was there with the door that says Himmel. Oh, there she is. What are you doing here? Himmel was written on the door. Tsugumi wasn't really doing anything. She just stood in front of the door. Nothing. It's none of your business. None of my business, huh? Sure, whatever. What are you doing here? This. I held out one of the tuna sandwiches to Tsugumi. What's this? Breakfast. You're not gonna eat it? You're not gonna eat it? Tsugumi tilted her head a little and stared at the sandwich. If you don't want it, I'll give it to you. I didn't say I don't want it. Tsugumi indifferently took the sandwich from me. Good. I went through a lot of pain to make that. If you said you didn't want it, I don't know what I'd... Tsugumi began to walk away without listening to what I was talking about. Okay. Alright. Hey, hold on a second. It's a very difficult route, and the fact that it's recommended first is very interesting because, like, she's really not budging at all. She really doesn't want to budge at all. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. I thought that I would follow the guide to a T after this point, but like, I don't know. Maybe I would go back and do something on kids' route. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling if I want to switch back and forth between the two. But it was really fun to have kids' route be first and then do this second, to be sure. I suddenly grabbed Tsugumi's shoulder. You should at least say thanks. Tsugumi didn't try to turn around. She shook my hand off her shoulder effortlessly. She let out an annoyed sigh. Don't touch me. I remember this. Did I say this before? Oh no, she said this to Kid before. Gotcha. Tsugumi said it in a low voice without turning around. My shrugged off hand floated in the air with nowhere to go. Don't touch me. Tsugumi repeated the same words again and silently started walking away, down the water-covered floor of the corridor. Rings rippled out slowly from where Tsugumi stepped as she walked away. Just then, the lights in the corridor began to flicker uneasily. I instinctively glanced up at the ceiling. Listening carefully, blah blah blah, I heard a sound like the rumble of thunder far away. What? What is happening? It couldn't be. Tiny waves formed in the water, pooled on the floor. The walls and ceiling trembled slightly. Metal screeched on metal. I could see Tsugumi's back down the corridor. The lights clicked and flickered. Tsugumi turned and looked back at me, as if she wanted to say something to me. Darkness blanketed us. Okay. Now we are in the root of all time. So I mean, Sora is gone. And then as I recall, Tsugumi continues to walk away. Like, she doesn't even process it or register it at all. She's like, whatever. But she will be waiting for us by the time we get back upstairs, essentially. Darkness blanketed us. The tremors and sounds stopped, but an eerie silence filled the area. The only emergency lights glowed dimly. Is this a blackout? Tsugumi! I kicked up water as I ran. I ran to where Tsugumi was, shouting. Tsugumi, it's a blackout! A blackout! I know. What should we do? Why are you asking me? Yeah, right. So what should we do? I know. First we should go to where everyone is. We cut through a nearby door and came out in front of the kiosk. You wasn't there. I sprinted to the room next door. There wasn't a sign of anyone there. I scanned the area. My eyes weren't used to the darkness yet, and I couldn't see into the corners of the room. Hey! Coco, Kid, you! The echo of my voice swallowed, vanishing into the... was swallowed, vanishing into the darkness. Where could they have gone? My eyes stopped on the bench. On the top of the tray I left, there was one tuna sandwich remaining. I'd still had one of the sandwiches in my hand. The emergency didn't seem to faze Tsugumi, who was stuffing her face with the sandwich I'd given her. Something like this was also said during Kids' Route, I remember. So somebody did not eat. That isn't... We gave the sandwich to Tsugumi. We have ones for Sora, so Coco did not eat. Again, she's not real, but in what way is she not real? Because I think... And again, I wish I could remember what evidence has made me so convinced, but like I know for a fact that she's not an AI. So like AI hologram like Sora. So what is she? What would she be in that case? Hey. This. Tsugumi handed me something. It was a balled up sandwich wrapper. It needs to be thrown away. You can do it yourself! Saying that, Tsugumi left the room. Jeez, I can't believe this girl! I took the crumpled up wrapper, put it back on the tray, and soon followed after Tsugumi. In front of the control room, in the far darkness, I could just make out 3 familiar outlines. Hey, Kuranari!
Tsugumi!
Splashing through the water, the 3 of them walked over. Hey, have you seen Sora? I looked at Tsugumi. She shook her head. Wasn't she in the control room? It's empty now. Who is she? Who is she? Why is she lying like she doesn't know? You know. You sure? Let's check. I pushed the panel next to the door, but this button remained lifeless. I guess she's saying, like, I hope that her system hasn't gone offline, even if the power is offline. Hey, how do you open this? Does electricity have to be on? Oh, there is an emergency mechanism for opening the door near the bottom of it. Pulling on the lever, I pushed the door over to the side. The door opened just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. I peeked inside the door. It was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. Do you want a flashlight? No, thanks. Taking a flashlight, I turned it on and stepped into the room. A white circle of light appeared on the wall. I shined the flashlight left and right, lighting up all corners of the room. The electrical system was completely shut down. Like an abandoned castle, there was no sign of warmth left. There was clearly nobody there. Well, what should we do? I joined everyone and asked that calmly. It had been one crisis after another since the day before. I'm guessing... I was just thinking to myself, it's like, I hope we can skip through this version of events once we get, you know, down essentially we get all the items and essentially float or sink all the way down. I hope we can skip all that version of events, but I don't think we can because Coco is here. The previous CG had Sara in it for sure. It was you and Sara. So the fact that Coco is here is changing up a lot of things. I guess we are already used to the situation because nobody had lost it. I can't believe Sora would take off without saying anything. You said? Like a liar? What is wrong with you? You tilted her head as she said that. Looking at her then, I noticed something. You, when did you change clothes? Huh? Oh, this. You was wearing clothes I hadn't remembered seeing. I spilled sauce all over my uniform. I had one change of clothes in the changing room. These are my everyday clothes. Now I don't even know if I'm supposed to believe you or... Now I don't even know if this is real. Everyone is suspicious. Why? I see. So you had to change clothes. Spilling sauce in your uniform? That's pretty clumsy. That was so suspicious. You know, she's lying for sure, but like, what could she possibly be doing? What? No, they don't have similar voices. I was like, what if somehow you and Tsugumi are switching places somehow, some way? I don't think so. Like, one could be wearing a wig. Like, they could be, well, rather, both could be wearing wigs. But I don't think, they don't have similar voices at all, so I don't think that could be the case. You scratched her head as if to offset her embarrassment. Anyway, we should be thinking about Sora.
Yeah, for now. Everybody, let's split up and look for Sora-san. Without Sora-san around, we won't know why there was a blackout or anything.
Yeah, Sora knows more about Limu than anyone. Alright, yeah, let's do this. You and the kid, you guys check this floor. Tsugumi, Coco, and I will hit the second floor. Okay? Huh? Alright. Roger that.
What about Pee-Pee?
He'll go with you, of course. I petted Pee-Pee's head. Is the dog still swimming? I hope the dog gets a break. I hope you pick up the dog regularly. Coco, I hope you're doing that. Alright, let's go search. Woof! She already revealed what she was doing. She was doing in a route that you already did. Was she? I don't remember what she was doing. If she did, I don't remember it. She was looking... I know she's been taking walks around the facility. And I know that she has been checking certain stuff out, but I don't know... I can't remember specifically what it is, if she has done something. I can't remember. Sora! The three people and one mutt, myself, Tsugumi, Coco, and Pee-Pee, split up once we reached Radar Stock. The entrance to the neutral buoyancy elevator, inside the infirmary, the changing room, the security office, the merry-go-round. We searched everything, even the jellyfish gondola. Then we retraced our way back to the front of the infirmary. And then...
Takepyon!
Woof, woof, woof. Coco was shaking the flashlight and signaling to me. I had handed it to her before we started searching. How'd it go? Any luck? Coco used the flashlight to make a big X, signifying nothing found.
How about you?
Nothing. She's not on this floor. What about Tsugumi?
Tsugumi just passed by in front of me.
Passed by.
She went that way, toward the entrance to the the egg elevator. The egg elevator.
The neutral buoyancy elevator, huh?
Yeah. She is carrying something big.
Oh, she's gonna find the big tuna then. Because that was what... Sara had found that originally, right? Okay. Something big. It sounded like Tsugumi was up to something solo again. I'll go check it out. Coco and I moved to the room next door. There were signs of someone there. Ahead, in the total darkness, there was something rustling around.
Tsugumi.
Calling out, Coco shined the light on the shadow. Hey, that's bright. As expected, it was Tsugumi. She held out the palms of her hand as she stood up. Coco hurried to turn off the flashlight and rushed over by Tsugumi. I followed her over with Pipi.
What are you doing? I don't understand what you mean by
Are you suspicious of her, or like what are you just asking because you want to ask?
Hey, what were you doing?
Looking into something.
What?
This elevator.
Hey, the egg elevator?
Yes.
What do you need this big thing to investigate for?
Coco pointed down by Tsugumi's feet. There lay a massive plastic case. I sure I'd seen it in the warehouse the day before. Oh, never mind. She's not goofy enough to get the tuna. The giant tuna. Never mind. It looked like a toolbox, but... I'm gonna need this later. Right now, I'm just checking the status of the elevator. Whether it will move or the doors will open manually. Tsugumi was way more talkative than usual. Yeah, we make a point of this always in both timelines. We make a point to bring up like, hey, like why is she so different suddenly? Her attitude toward Coco was much nicer than the one she had toward me. Yeah, that is true. It seemed to me like that Coco's unique personality even kept Tsugumi off balance.
So how about it? Does it look like the elevator will move?
Maybe. Tsugumi glanced at me as she said that.
Hey, but what good will using the elevator do you?
I thought we'd... wrong voice. I thought we'd go down to the 3rd floor.
3rd floor? Why don't you use the emergency stairs like we always do?
Because those stairs won't get us where we need to go.
Huh?
They won't get us to the generator room.
Generator room?
That reminded me of what you had said. Limo didn't receive any power from the outside, but had an in-house generator system. There was a thermal seafloor vent where hot water was pumped out of the seabed, and heat from that was used to operate the generator.
But why do you need to go there?
Because it's a pain with the lights off.
Huh?
To make repairs. I think the cause of the blackout is the generator.
Oh, I see. So that's why you need this big box.
Yes.
Oh, I get it now. It makes sense.
Tsugumi was finally freed from Coco's barrage of questions. All right, I'm going now. Takeshi, could you come along? Huh? Me? Without thinking, I shot a question back at her. Her question was pretty sudden and caught me off balance. Besides, I thought it was the first time that she had called me by my name. First, there's one thing I want to ask you. What? What? You just said something about the emergency stairs not leading to the generator room, right? So, why is that? Don't you remember the map of Limu we saw yesterday? I obviously don't. Like, I literally do not. Let me check something real quick. Hold on. Here? Takeshi Ignore Sora is the name of the event. That's kind of cruel. Okay. Map? Map. I press on my temples with my fingers, trying to tease out a buried memory. The map of the 3rd floor was divided into 2 areas. Do you remember? I can't say that I remember exactly, but kinda, yeah. And what was between those two areas? Between them? How am I supposed to know? There wasn't anything there. Exactly. Which means the two areas are divided by a block which is now underwater. So we can't move directly from the control room area to the generator room area. So what? Oh, I see. To get the generator room's area, we have to access the second floor. And the only way we can do that is by using the neutral buoyancy elevator. Could you help me out? But do you think it's alright? I mean, we haven't asked Sora's opinion. I really don't know if the blackout is really the generator. I remember having a conversation like this, but I don't remember Tsugumi being the one we had the conversation with, right? We had it with you instead. I don't think that'd do any good. So you know, and you knows, and everybody knows. Everybody knows except Kid and Takashi, apparently. Huh? Are we gonna learn that Coco is actually a genius hacker as well? Is she also just one for one the same character? I don't know. Huh? I don't think you're going to find Sora because of the blackout. Huh? The control room computer is going to be down. Even if Sora was around, she wouldn't be able to contact Lemith. So the only thing we can do is go check out the generator, right? Well, I suppose, but... So, what are you going to do? Will you come along? Takeshi, I really need you. Are you playing around? Those words shocked me. I thought my heart stopped for a second. I really need you. Those were not the words I'd ever expected to hear from Tsugumi's mouth. Alright. Gaslight, gatekeep girl boss. Okay. Tsugumi stared straight at me. She probably just wants me to hold the heavy toolbox. Her intense gaze made me uncomfortable. Please. Help Tsugumi. Look for Sora first. Who cares about Sora? Help Tsugumi. Alright. I'll go with you. I stared back into Tsugumi's eyes. I didn't think about going against her. Tsugumi nodded.
Hey, what about Coco?
I've got another job I want Coco to do.
Another job? What's that?
Oh, she's sly, and you know he's gonna fall for it. Yeah. Immediately, just like I can't go along. I can't do anything else but go along. What are you doing, buddy? Hey. Sorry, my dog is looking at something. What are you doing? You see something? What do you see? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? You're making me scared. I had the like exterminator, like pest control kind of spray a little bit in the area today, so there should be like increased activity of bugs all out and about. Unfortunately. So it's like I see her staring at something and I'm like, that might be a huge bug that she's looking at, like I wonder if I should follow it. Very terrifying, very scary. Anyway, we're not gonna worry about that and hope for the best. But yes, she's incredibly quick-witted. Definitely one of the smarter characters, I would say.
Another job? What's that?
I want you to tell you and the kid what I just told you. I mean, tell them that Takashi and I are going to the generator room.
Oh, that. Roger, 10 for that.
Coco clicked her heels together and gave a kind of salute. Just whip out the slipper. I'm so bad with bugs. You don't understand. I'm so bad with that. Even doing something like that is like, oh gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Usually I have like a spray and then I use the spray until they're dead, and then after that I might leave it for a day, and then after that I might attempt to clean it up. I'm so bad with bugs. The neutral buoyancy elevator A. A meant egg in German. Alright, we have seen this before. Can I skip till next choice? A little bit. Tsugumi calmly opens up the toolbox she had brought with her. Inside are things like the electric screwdriver, hydraulic cutting machine, some kind of laser or welding device, a small gas burner. Leave it for a day, because how do I know? How do I know it's really dead? You have to leave it for 24 hours and then be like, okay, I think it's really, really dead. Actually, for real. The box was packed with any and all kinds of tools. Huh? What are you gonna do with that? If it won't sink, then we'll just have to sink it. Huh? What? What is she doing? Okay. What are you doing? What? Tsugumi, are you crazy? Tsugumi took the torch in hand and slowly stood up. Blue flames erupted from it like a jet engine, hissing in the dim light. No way. You're kidding, right, Tsugumi? Tsugumi didn't answer. She grinned triumphantly. She put the flame to the edge of the elevator's shell. Yikes. There was no time to stop her. Oh, so she's just chaotic evil. Not chaotic evil, but like, what would you call this? On the alignment chart, what would you call this? Chaotic neutral? Chaotic neutral. Okay. I thought sometimes she's smart and sometimes she really isn't. But okay, she's very efficient, let's say that. Again, Tomodachi life is gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun. I got her personality down pat immediately. Make sure the bug is not playing possum. Yeah, exactly. I'm just so bad with it. I forgot about this part. This part is insane. I wasn't expecting this. This is what we get instead of you and Sara holding a big fish. This is all that we get instead. Here, she looks so proud of herself too. Like, yeah, I did that. Yippee, huzzah, huzzah. A coin-sized hole opened in the shape in the egg-shaped elevator, blah, blah, blah. And seawater came spurting in with tremendous force. You idiot! What are you trying to do? There's a hole! Yes, I made it, and I'm very proud. Tsugumi was as calm as ever. She extinguished the flame as if nothing had happened. She placed it in the toolbox and shut the lid. The seawater created a mist, descending all around us, rather. Tsugumi licked the droplets off her lips. You're crazy, right? Yeah, being cooped up in here has made you crazy. Tsugumi just snickered. As we continued that exchange, the water continued to pour in. It pooled in the bottom of the egg. It covered our ankles, then our shins, then swallowed our knees, lapping at our thighs. Crazy. Crazy. I decided to escape. Thought maybe I'd wash my hair. I don't... Genuinely, the first time where it's like, I don't even know what the correct choice is. I don't... What do you want? What do you want in a man? Do you want me to wash my hair here? Just like make do with the situation? Let's look at the guide. I don't know. So what about it? Don't say anything. I'll pass? Wait a minute. Is this one of those choices that doesn't matter? I think it is, actually. I don't believe it. It's one of those choices that does not matter at all in the grand scheme of things. And I chose something. I don't even know what I chose. What did I choose? Okay, I thought it was good timing. I was due for a wash anyway. Okay, fair enough. But with what shampoo? That's actually a good point. Why? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I missed bathing the day before. I dug my head under the inflowing water and mussed up my hair. Yep, it was invigorating. I could really feel the minerals seeping into my scalp. The water was cold, but it was actually refreshing. Hey, can you get the shampoo for me? What the heck am I doing? Ha 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 ha. Oh, she didn't laugh. She hated that. Oh, shoot. All right, go back. Rewind again. Oops. Tsugumi gave me the evil eye. Just then, boom, the egg elevator took a big jolt and started to move. A began to descend ever so slowly. Peeking through the window and into the blue, we could see the outside of Limu. The blue gradually got darker, and the steel bulkhead appeared to move farther away upward. The higher water pressure increased the force of the water pouring in. The speed of our descent picked up. I wonder how many meters we had dropped. I shifted my gaze toward the sea bottom, but Dritterstock still hadn't come into view. There was water in the elevator that had reached my chest. Oh gosh, this would be terrifying. My legs were floating. I was on my toes. I kicked the I kicked off the floor with all my power and seized the edge of the ceiling. Hey, don't you think this is pretty dangerous? A strained smile appeared on Tsugumi's face. It seemed like she was getting a little worried. All right, so some brain cells, but not all of them. I wonder if we'll die like this. Maybe. No, not maybe. This harebrained idea was all your... The surface of the water reached my throat, and the cold seawater rushed into my mouth. I lifted my chin and desperately tried to stick to the ceiling. Tsugumi! Tsugumi! I screamed crazily. Okay, well, this is, not good. It's not good to say the least. Okay. I looked sideways and saw Tsugumi struggling to stay above the water. Just then. I love the use of just then in these games. They love saying it over and over again. Boom. The egg was shaken by a strong shock. We made it to the 3rd floor. I wanted to shout that, but it was impossible. There was no longer enough air for me to yell. I didn't know if she had panicked or what, but Tsugumi was thrashing her arms and legs around desperately. You didn't think we could have gotten other materials. Okay, in the blur underwater, I pinned down Tsugumi's shoulders. Who was it that suggested that we go get other materials? Was it you or was it Sada? Maybe Sada really was our saving grace. Maybe she was the only one that could think, except when she couldn't think, when she was getting the pendant shard back. But whatever. It's alright, I'll take care of it. I felt Tsugumi's body relax. I kicked against the wall and clung to the handle of the watertight door. I focused every bit of strength in my body on turning the heavy handle. Because my body would float, I couldn't gain traction with my feet. Bracing on one leg on the handrail, I continued turning and turning it. The water pressure began pressing in on my eardrums. My body was screaming for oxygen. Open! 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 The double-ply door opened. A mass of water, Tsugumi and I were spit out of the elevator and onto the floor, but we didn't have time to catch our breath. Seawater flooding into the hole of the elevator more ferociously than ever. I immediately got up and rushed to the watertight door on the elevator. First, I closed that door, locked it, then closed the door on the Limu side as well. Alright, cool. And it's also time for the second break of the stream. Alright, I hate to leave it on, like, no music. I hate that. Can I... It's gonna be, like, a few minutes anyway. Alright, let's go over to... Not ending screen. What am I talking about? To verb screen. So how are they gonna get back up? There's a separate elevator that can take them back up. So they'll be fine. That's also the same thing that I was worrying about, though, in the kid route. I was like, how are we supposed to get back up after this? But apparently it's okay. It's fine. But yes, I will be back in a few minutes. I almost wonder. Hold on. I'm gonna... Hopefully I don't get spoiled in the process of doing this. And this is gonna go over break. And this also might get copyrighted, so, like, whatever. But I wanted to check... remake opening. Can I do this? I think this is the opening movie. This is it. Is this the one that I heard? Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my favorite. It's so good. I want you to listen to this while I'm gone. Let me turn this all the way up. Anyway, I'll be back in like 3 minutes or so. See you then. Alrighty, I am back. This sounds like the opening to a Gundam anime. It sounds like, I don't know, it just sounds like so late 2000s anime. You know, like that very dramatic period of like, and I guess the big boom of anime adaptations that from visual novels, I guess. You know, it's a very nostalgic feeling. It's very, very good. But I can hear the Gundam as well. I saw a spider in my room, and I'm going to turn away from it, and I'm going to hope for the best. I don't know. I'm creeped out. It's just there. It's just staring at me. Okay. Anyway, let me go over to game stream, and we're gonna continue the game. If it's a daddy long legs, it's not a spider. It's okay. I don't think it's a daddy long legs. I don't think so. It's not that. Daddy long legs is the one that has like the dot, like the dot for a body, and then like the really, really thin legs, right? It's definitely not that one. It's pure black, and I should probably go attend to it. I don't want to look at it. Yeah, those. Okay, if it's the ones with super skinny legs, I don't see any of those, to be honest. I wish that was the only problem I had to deal with. No, I get like, I don't know, they're these super scary looking spiders. All right, I'm going to continue 3 lines. ... However long it takes for music to pop back in. For a while, I couldn't move. All right, cool. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the music. I have to take care of this, or else I literally will not be able to live. Hold on, 1 second. Never mind, it's gone. Very cool. Very cool. It's gone. Okay. Okay. Well. Cool. Tsugumi sprawled out on the floor too. I didn't feel angry with her, because relief was the dominant emotion. It's such a stupid thing to do. Oh, the music is too loud. Shit. Hold on. I forgot. I turned it back up. Sorry about that. Advanced audio properties. Okay, it's gone. Update the spiders completely disappeared, and I'm not happy. Not happy. I wish my dog was the type of dog that would kill bugs, would attend to bugs for me, but unfortunately, not. She is not that type of animal. I used to have a cat, and he would do that, but not this time. Not this time around. Okay. It was such a stupid thing to do. What if we... Oops. What if we really had died? Tsugumi was coughing a little, looking down. She didn't try to look at me. Yeah, because what you did was kind of dumb. It was kind of stupid, a little bit. I thought maybe she had been reflecting on what she had done. That's it, maybe. Maybe she just isn't a people person and has a hard time getting along with others. She seemed fragile and lonely. Maybe she needed somebody's help. It was the first time I had realized there was anything weak about her. Sitting all alone in the middle of that sprawling floor, she looked small, like a newborn chick. 7:22 a.m. The hallway was dark. The darkness hid our surroundings from us and felt oppressive. I walked slowly forward, making sure of each step. Interesting. So if we were on the Sora route, what would be happening right now? I guess we just spend time alone looking for Sora, and it's like she's not gonna be there. She's obviously not gonna be there. So I walked slowly forward, making sure of each step. In my right hand, I had a huge toolbox. It was so heavy that it felt like my shoulder might break under its strain. I wonder if this area is full of water from yesterday's flooding. Tsugumi shot a question back at me. So what? 2 syllables. That was all she said. What's your problem anyway? Just a minute ago, you were desperately screaming for help to keep from drowning. I didn't scream anything. Yeah, but your eyes did. Did not. There you go, acting all tough. I'm not tough. Besides... Ow. Ouch! Don't just stop all of a sudden like that. It's dark and I can't see. Listen up. I'll only tell you once more. I never, ever asked for help. Alright, well next time I'll just let you die then. I'll just let you die. What the heck? Tsugumi turned back to me. Shrouded in darkness, I couldn't really make out her expression. Yeah, but if I hadn't stopped to open that door, the chances of you and I both be floating... The chances are you and I would both be floating, drowned in that egg. If I had to be saved by you, then I'd rather die. Whoa! This is... I mean, in her case, very much, I think she's putting on a front of just like, don't get closer to anyone here, and that's why she's saying stuff like that. But it's also like, that's the A possibility, and the only other B possibility is that like, she really has beef with some timeline version of Takashi. Some version of Takashi, she's like, she really hates that version, and it's just like, nah, no, I'm not dealing with this right now. Oh, really? Jeez. Why can't this girl ever be honest with people? I went around Tsugumi and walked further along the flooded corridor. One more thing I want to get off my chest. What are those words all about anyway? What words? As she fired another short question at me, Tsugumi passed me again. What you said before we got in the egg on the second floor. I really, really need you. By the way, Takashi just said he can't see because it's too dark. Yeah, he can't see. We saw that in the kid route as well. He can't see, but kid can. So, yeah, that was when we first saw the glimpse of like, kid is not human essentially. But I don't know if you're like meant to, if you're trying to like imply that Tsugumi can see and like she's doing just fine, but I don't want to go into that territory. Please no hinting or like spoilers or anything like that, because I don't want to like get into that territory of like, where could this be taking me and where could this go essentially. Your eyes were watery. You were begging me, right? Yes, I did. Oh, that was an unexpected answer. What about it? So you are depending on me after all, and now you finally admit it. Tsugumi continued forward without talking. In other words, if something were to happen, you want to be with someone you can rely on. You're afraid to be alone. That's why you wanted me to come. You are such an idiot. Duh. You don't get it. That egg elevator is a neutral buoyancy elevator, so for the most part, it doesn't require outside power. But it does need power for the intake and release of water from the ballast tank. In fact, it's the only time it needs power. And since this is a blackout, you couldn't operate the ballast valve. That much I know. Well, do you know the Archimedes principle? Jumpy, do you know? Oh gosh, okay. I know it, I don't know it. Somebody explained this already, didn't they? I feel like somebody explained this already. Just in case, I'm gonna be like, I don't know it. Nah, can't say I understand that. I remember hearing about it a long time ago in school, but I forgot. The buoyancy of a submerged object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the object. Oh, you mean that? That's the Archimedes principle. And what's that got to do with this? How you figure out the rest yourself? Yeah, somebody already talked about it. Somebody already talked about it before. There she went again. She would tease me along, but that was it. I gave a deep sigh and shook my head. I switched the heavy toolbox to my other hand and continued walking. After walking a while, Tsugumi turned right ahead of me. I followed after her. Oh. Turning the corner, it finally hit me. I see, so that's what you meant. I thought it was weird, you inviting me along. To sink that egg elevator to the third floor, its total weight had to be greater than the force of the buoyancy. So just one skinny girl like you wouldn't be enough weight. Right. So don't get me wrong. Of the 5 people trapped here, you're the heaviest, right? Yo, I'm not some big rock paperweight. No, you're more than a rock. You're a rock head. Oh, freaking got him. You see what I did there? Freaking. All right, Tsugumi. Freaking, what the hell? 7:26 a.m. Or, did they say a.m.? It said a.m. I arrived thinking of a comeback to Rockhead. He's still thinking about it. We arrived at our destination. Dim yellow and black stripes appeared ahead. This is it? This is the generator room? I tried bringing my face as close to the plate of the door, but it was too dark to read. I'll take a look. I reached toward the door handle. Wait. Tsugumi grabbed my arm. Huh? What's up? What? If you don't talk, I don't understand. Tsugumi held my arm firmly. The wet palm of her hand felt cool. I didn't know exactly what she wanted to say. I tried to read something from her expression, but it was too dark to see. I don't think you should open it. Why not? It's dangerous, maybe. Okay. Yeah. In that case, she's, I guess, also one of the child experiments. one of the experiments or something. She definitely can see the same thing that Kid can see. And we know because we just played through the Sada route that Kid had experimentation done on him. So did Sada. Sada could tell as well, but she didn't really say anything, but Sada could tell as well that, like, yeah, the water in here is boiling. So Tsugumi can tell as well. Huh. It's dangerous, maybe. Dangerous inside this room? Tsugumi nodded and gently removed her hand from my arm. And then she quietly approached the door. She tossed some of the water droplets from her hand at the steel door. The droplets sizzled on the door, evaporating away. Is there a fire or something inside? Tsugumi shook her head. The generator uses hot water, so I don't think it could be a fire. Then it's probably steam. I don't think it's packed full of extremely hot steam. Sorry. I think it's just packed full of extremely hot steam. Okay. This generator is designed to operate normally at 6 atmospheres. But right now, Limu's air pressure is at 1 atmosphere. I mean, the only other thing I could say is that, like, oh, maybe she's just smart like that. Maybe she just knew that, like, oh, obviously that would be the case, and of course, and like, yeah, I just figured that the water would be boiling hot, probably likely. But I mean, as we just established from the previous scene, she's smart, but she's not that smart. She's not like a god of this world or anything. So, you know. There is a possibility that a tank or pipe filled with high-pressure steam could have ruptured. Or that some abnormality was detected and triggered a safety valve to be opened. Oh, I get it. Either way, steam is leaking from somewhere, and there isn't enough power to turn the turbine. And so the generator stopped. If that's what happened, then it could have been pretty dangerous. The instant I opened the door, my whole body would have been showered with several hundred degrees steam. Like Tsugumi, I tossed some water on the door. Whoosh. After that, Tsugumi and I made for the room next to the generator room. We were implementing Tsugumi's plan. First, shut off the hot water flowing to the generator room. It was dark and I couldn't see everything, but the room was covered in an astounding network of pipes. This is the room in which... Wait, is it the same room? I wasn't paying attention to the map that I had drawn, so I don't actually know. But I think this is the same room where Sada was swimming, I believe. Of course, this is well into, you know, after danger. So the pipes continued in the generator room next to the door. It seemed that opening and closing the valves could adjust the water and oil pressure. Normally, Lemith is responsible for maintaining the generator room, but even Lemith can't do much when generator itself goes out. Anyhow, this is all because the power supply is down. The room is designed so that maintenance can be performed manually at times like this, or during blackouts. That was what Tsugumi told me. Why does Tsugumi know so much about Limu? Did she grow up here? Did Kid grow up here? Did Coco grow up here? I don't know who has potentially grown up here and who hasn't. Honestly, Coco is giving me, I don't know if I've said this before, but Coco is giving me the vibes of someone who has grown up here and has never left the facility at all. Like Like, I think she's been to Insel Null, but like, I don't think she's ever left the island. But I don't know. Who's to say, really? Why did Tsugumi know so much about Limo? She seems to know where the generator room... She seems to know where the generator room and where the people with all... Where the room with all the pipes was, rather. Those doubts nagged at my mind. As I was thinking, Tsugumi plugged away next to me. Tsugumi selected one pipe from the countless rows of them and closed its valve. I had no idea which pipe was doing what, but Tsugumi knew. What kind of girl is Tsugumi anyway? I still hadn't found out what she had known, how she had known about the inside of the generator room, how the inside of the generator room was dangerous. Sorry, I'm like probably gonna end stream in like a little bit here. I started stream and I was already kind of like I guess just stressed generally with like all the different stuff that needs to be done. So, but I think I'm probably slightly wilting now, and also there's a spider somewhere in the room and I don't know where it is, and it's gonna keep me awake, but you know, it's fine. It's okay. I wonder if Tsugumi had some kind of connection with Limu. I think this should do it. As soon as the work was done, Tsugumi left. I was left alone in the room. There were still a number of nagging doubts that I hadn't resolved. 8 a.m. With that, we had been able to shut off the hot water flowing to the generator room. So if we had... Because we get a choice between staying with Sada here and then going with you, I believe? So you would have... we would have had this scene with Takashi and you, essentially, if we had, you know, decided to bow out, I guess. Even so, on the other side of the door, it was still hot enough to scald. Scald. I've seen this word too many times in this game that it's crazy that I don't know how to pronounce it. Scalds. Meaning? We can just do meaning. And then... This is scalding. Scalding. So it should be scald. It should be scald. I can't wait to not remember this, but sure. Tsugumi and I waited in front of the generator room until the temperature inside had cooled down sufficiently. We sat on the water-covered floor and leaned against the wall. We sat next to each other. We were probably both already drenched, so we didn't have any problems with sitting in water. Besides, the water was warmer than it looked. I thought it probably was the heat from the generator room. Hey, how long do you think we're gonna have to wait? I asked Tsugumi that. An hour. An hour? Tsugumi didn't even try to answer. It was so dark that I couldn't tell if she had nodded or shaken her head. In the darkness, there was an intermittent and repeated clicking noise. It was like the sound of a dry plastic crinkling, like on the top of a champagne bottle. It was a sound that was coming from near Tsugumi's hand. What's that? What happens to the pendant? If Sada is not real, what happens to the pendant? Where does it go? I mean, she might have the pendant right now. We're about to find out. But like, also, is any of this real? What? That crackly sound you're making? The sound stopped. Tsugumi took whatever it was and put it in her pocket. I thought it might be her way of saying, I'm not going to tell. What is it with you? You only answer when you feel like it. You're like a cat. I hate cats. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I feel like you and cats would get along very well. What, do you like dogs instead? I can't see you as a dog person. Huh? Because they eat mice. Oh. I mean, do they? Do cats actually eat mice? Again, going back to my previous cat. My cat, he would essentially just like kill them and then just sort of play around with them, and it was really gross. And like wake up in the morning and like see him just kind of like flinging a mouse around. It's like, yeah, yippee, huzzah! But otherwise, he wouldn't eat them. I think that's maybe like an old thing where it's like an older thing where maybe like food isn't always readily available to an outdoor cat, so they're like, I don't know, we'll eat some mice or something. Pretty sure they do. They are hunters, I guess. I just haven't seen the cat that I had, the one frame of reference that I have. I didn't see him eat any mice at all, so who's to say? I've seen cats catch and eat mice. Okay, so it does happen. It does happen. All right. Sorry for doubting the word, the common portrayal of cats and mouse. All right. If your cat is well fed, it doesn't need to eat them, but a wild cat would. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like maybe an outdoor cat would eat them, but indoor cats. Okay, so indoor cats would not resort to it. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Who cares? I see. Because they eat mice. Why do you? Oh, you because you're a lab rat. Ha ha ha. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Yeah, I see. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I'm not a cat. That's for sure. You're a mouse. My answering has nothing to do with my mood. If a question has meaning, I'll answer. If it doesn't, I don't. That's all. Really? So you are serious. So that's the kind of question I don't want to answer. A question to check something. A question about something you don't need to know. Or questions about things you don't know. You know I don't know, but ask anyway. Alright, well, consider this, Tsugumi. What if we're in a mystery game and I know you've been experimented on or something like that? I know that you're very smart at the very least. So, like, consider the following, right? What if? What if? I don't know, somehow, some way, some way. What if we're in a game and I need you to give me the answers, right? That'd be so crazy, right? There's more than enough pointless conversation in the world, don't you think? Alright, I got it already. How about I ask you a meaningful question? I wanted to ask about choices, because I sure do have choices, and it's strange. Okay, about the air pressure of the generator room. Why she knew so much about Limu? I mean, obviously the second one? That's not even a question. Obviously the second one. But, let's see. Where am I at right now? I have a hard time keeping up with the with the timeline. It's not bad. It's not like bad the way that it's laid out. It's just like I tab back into the game and then I tab out and I look at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, where was I? I lost my place. Maybe it's one of those choices that doesn't really matter. I'm gonna ask about her. I'm gonna ask about her. What's the worst that can happen? I decided to ask something that had been nagging me for a while. Tsugumi, why do you know so much about Limu? I mean, you got a bunch of details like this generator room or the pipe room or whatever. I couldn't check her expression, but it seemed like she was deep in thought about something. How's that for a meaningful question? Completely devoid of meaning. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I would never be angry. Tsugumi muttered that. How is my answer to that going to help you? It doesn't really matter whether you know about me or not. It kind of does because we're on your route. It's something you don't need to know. Oh, I see. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. Still, I really did want to know. Tsugumi's evasion of the question made me interested in finding out what there really was to her. But I didn't think that she would answer if I'd badgered her about it. I was irritated, but decided to play it cool and pretend like I didn't care. Then, hey. Suddenly, I didn't know what she was thinking, but Tsugumi suddenly put her face in front of mine. What? Now it's my turn. Yeah? Can I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. Will you close your eyes? Is that the question? It's more of a favor. There in the darkness, in that narrow corridor, you can't see my eyes just like slowly narrowing, just like, what are you planning? I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Just a few centimeters from my nose. The two of us. My mind turned into steam and evaporated. Are they closed? Almost as if I were hypnotized, my eyes began to sink. And immediately after that, shake, shake, shake. Splish, splash. Slosh, slosh, slosh. What is she? Is she tying me up here? I didn't know what to make of those noises. Did she like take a handcuff and like don't get in my way? Leave me alone? I opened my eyes without thinking. Tsugumi was grinning mischievously right in front of me. Close them. She covered my eyes with one hand. And then... Shh. Hey, what are you doing? You jerk. You dumb jerk. What did I do? I screamed. What are you doing? Some kind of spray showered my face. It went into my mouth. Take that, you loser. Are you spraying me with like, I don't know, like a bug spray? Stop it, stop it. What's the matter with you? I desperately tried to resist, but my body wouldn't obey me. Tsugumi had me by the neck. She's choking me out. How's that, you slug? You scum on the pond of life. With those words, the eruption in my face stopped. No, what are you spraying me with? I thought she was laughing. The next thing I knew, Tsugumi started rubbing my face with a cloth. It was rough, and her technique didn't make it any better. I stopped my futile resistance. I was almost choking. That's just about right. All right, never mind. I don't think these are romantic endings. Whatever. I don't know. She seems to really hate us. That's just about right. Or wait a minute. Did she take like? How can I spin this in a way that makes her seem decently good? Did I still have some marker left on my face? So she took the water, splashed it on my face, and was like, hold still. And I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing. And then she took the cloth and decided to wipe it off. Maybe. Tsugumi took her hands off my neck. Unable to open my eyes, I scooped up seawater from the floor and put it in my mouth. It was salty. I didn't have any other choice. Hey! That's dirty, so don't go spitting it over here. You! I wanted to say something to her, but washing my face took priority. I scooped more water, splashed it on my face, and gargled again. I opened my eyes. What do you think you're doing? What did you put on my face? Acetone? Why? Why did you do that? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, but I don't know why she scorned. True, I don't know why. Why did she hate us so much? All I did was ask a question. Oh great, I'm so happy that it wasn't some pesticide. You think I'm serious? You idiot, I'm not. What do you mean spraying that all on me all of a sudden? It was hard to look at. Huh? What was? Your face. Whose? Yours. You. And then I realized something. I remembered. The black ink that had been on my palms and my hands. I see. It was the graffiti. It was still there. Okay, so that's why, okay? I looped it back around. I stopped myself from being like, you're the worst person ever. I stopped myself, just narrowly. But also, you're kind of the worst person. You're kind of the worst person ever. Like, maybe slightly. Like, maybe 20%. Maybe some part of the way there, I will say. It was still there? You erased all of it. I had completely forgotten about it until just then. Where'd she even find, acetone? I don't know where, to answer your question, I don't know where she found it. I know what acetone is. I don't know how to say it. Me, just here? Acetone, there we go. All right, I don't know where she found that. Where did you just find like base level acetone? That's actually a good point. Whatever, whatever, it doesn't matter. I had completely forgotten about it until just then. Well, she knows the facility inside and out, and maybe she's even been through the Himmeldor, so maybe she has access to acetone. When I had been making sandwiches, looking for Sora and coming here, the writing had been on my face the entire time. The entire time. And the acetone, that's supposed to be like nail polish remover, right? I found it in the toolbox. Oh, never mind. Never mind. There was a strong stench from it in the air. It stung my nose like overripe fruit. Doesn't that mean in the other timeline that Takeshi should still have it on his face like the whole entire day? Or is it Sora that like pointed out to him and it's like, hey, you need to wipe that off your face? I don't remember. I don't remember what the situation was around that. But it seems like he didn't have it on the other timeline. But on this timeline, he definitely did. That's why they brought up the cracked mirror. I noticed that. It smelled like a hangover. Thanks. I thanked her. So what did the writing say? I asked her about the graffiti. You can wait if you want, but I'm not answering. Because it's a meaningless question. Tell me what was scribbled on my face. Ah, you're no fun. You're no fun, boo. In the end, I never found out why she called me a slug. Maybe because slug was written on my face? I don't know. What'd they write last time? They wrote meat on his forehead. I remember that. I remember that. I always knew how to say it, but I didn't know what it is. Oh, so the opposite for me. The opposite for me then. It's a clear liquid used to clean grease and such. It's used as nail polish remover. It melts some plastics too. Yeah, I do know it. I mean, mostly from nail polish remover, obviously. So but it's like, I don't know how to actually say it. Just say nail polish remover and oopsie daisy. Well, hope for the best there. Maybe it was poo. They could have scribbled any number of things on his face, and we will never know because Tsugumi doesn't like to make conversation. Ah, boo. I hope she tells us later on in the timeline. But with that being said, I think now is a decent enough time to end things here. Let me go over to Takeshi Trick. All right. And there she is. There she is. I miss her. But she's not real. Aw, boo. Anyway, let's go back to title screen. Return to title. All right. Okay. To be fair, this episode, this stream was more so retreading a lot of ground, but just as Takeshi. And so it's not the most boring thing in the world because there are a lot of like subtle differences, but it is largely retreading through the same plot events. Again, there's no real way to get around this by having two protagonists trapped in the same enclosed space and having things be generally kind of similar with all of the other characters. So it's not like a criticism of the game, right? But it's it will be much easier when we're Kid and we can fast forward through all this, or when we're Takeshi and we can finally fast forward through all this. It's like you have to see it the first time around and know what's up before you can sort of just kind of skim through the rest of it. So retreading mostly things that we've seen before, but still with Tsugumi this time around. So we learned a little bit about her. What I learned from this episode is that she's smart, but not that smart because we almost drowned. We almost died. I think there's also like a part to be serious. There is a part of her character that genuinely I think does not have any regard to her own life. So that's something that you can pick up on as well. But I'm not sure. Again, it would have to be something about like her background, and if she is like one of the experimented children, I find it interesting that she does not, like, she's very cold towards Kid. Like, you can't really talk to her that much as Kid. You can talk to, like, Sada and her were obviously talking, but they don't seem to have like a good rapport with each other. So I'll be interested in seeing kind of where that goes when we get around to it. But yes, that was Ever 17, the Out of Infinity. I have to. I don't want to put like 100 line on hold or anything. So I will be back with 100 line, I think next Thursday, which is the 9th. And then I think we'll be back with this game hopefully like the 11th. So it will still be a little bit, but I think the 11th is when we'll be back with this one. And then again, I don't know what's gonna happen after that. Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest. I don't know. But I'm gonna try for two streams later in that week. But I think that's it for this week. I have to go and do a whole bunch of work, so I hope it goes well. Let's go ahead and look for somebody to raid on Twitch if anyone is online. But if not, that is a-okay. Mine is online, co-working, and studying. All right, let's go say hi. Alrighty. And that's set up, and we can move this over here. And I will be lurking in chat, obviously, because I have stuff to do. So I could probably use the stream as well, to be quite honest. Have a good one. Thank you so much, Black Blue, for joining. I really appreciate it. And to anyone else as well, as always, thank you so much for joining for even just a little bit. I really appreciate it. Again, I'll be back with some more of this next week, and hopefully we'll get to some more interesting content and see what Tsugumi is all about, because you know she's putting up her walls, but like genuinely I do want to know. I do want to know. Have a nice weekend. You as well, Albert. Thank you. And let me go over ending screen. All right. Have a nice weekend. Well, I guess I'm not going to be here for, you know, the rest of the week. So there is that. So I guess we can't say have a nice weekend. Have a nice next week. I guess we could technically say that. We can't say that. But yes, anything else that I need to say? I feel like I had something that I need to say. Yeah, whatever. It will come to me another time. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time it is, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye.